Do you believe we're live?
I think so.
Did it ask you again, go
Yes,
live?
it did. Yep. I think we're good.
You've done it. By golly, you've done it. And on time, as always. It's what we do. 8 o'clock start times. That's our new thing. Don't welcome.
jinx
Welcome to another episode of the Tier 1 podcast live. That means it's Thursday nights. I'm your host, Brent Tucker. With us in the guest seat, we got Mike Edwards, former RRD/RRC, and we'll explain all of that from Ranger Regiment. As always, we got the men on the couch. A new one, we got old Patreon Steve in the house. Welcome to the show, brother. And as always, holding it down on that side of the couch, Magnet from Lion Arms. Absolutely. And we got a guest producer tonight because Drew was on the road, Cam Fuller.
What's going on?
That's right. We may be giving away some Panos tonight as well, which we're a week late, but it's for a good reason. I had to go to Nashville. Sometimes you got to go to Nashville. We'll find out all that and a lot more. Cam, let's do it. All right, let's go wide there, Cam. We got a lot of things to cover. I know as people flood in, I hate to start this one out. So to start it out with this, because Mike, I don't think this is your forte. But then again, I don't want to pigeonhole you. You ready for this question?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Can't wait for this. What do you think about the NBA Finals with the Spurs and the Knicks?
Yeah, you're right. This is my forte. I'm not too much of a sports guy, but hey, I'll see what your take is on it.
All right. Here's the thing. I don't care a whole lot about the NBA. I just don't. But when you got Texas versus New York, it piques my interest. It just does. I just don't like New York City. I like Texas. And the last night, like the stars came out. Taylor Swift, of course, is on the sideline. You know, Seinfeld's on the sideline. David, what's his name? That created comedian, does all the shows like not Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm trying to think of the name.
Copperfield?
No. Old Jewish guy does all. I think he wrote Seinfeld. Larry David. Gosh, and Curb Your Enthusiasm was the name I was trying to think of. Anyway, all the stars are out. San Antonio's crushing. What was it, Cam? By
29 points at one point in the game.
29 points. And I couldn't. So the Knicks are up at one point, 2-0 in the series. Then the Spurs, that goes to New York. The Spurs steal one. It's now 2-1. I'm hoping the Spurs go 2-2 and tie it. And I just watch them completely blow this lead. And all the people that I pretty much can't stand in the world getting to celebrate it and enjoy their night. When I know this sounds so petty of me, but I just wanted them to have a bad night and watch New York lose, because I think that's what New York deserves as a city.
Last second shot.
What's that?
Last second shot.
I know, missed
Crazy.
the last second shot and then a tip back. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it is current events and it did happen, and we got to do something to let people come in, and I have to vent about it. Just not happy. I'm
Venting about basketball.
Yeah. What I should be most unhappy about is that I care anything about an NBA game. Yeah. That's what I should be. Yeah. That's what I should be most.
Kind of.
But again, it's not about the NBA. It's a battle in geographies. It's
a battle in manlyhood. In manhood.
Kind of.
Somehow, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Let's kick it off before we get into some other things. We got we'll update you guys with the Carmelo Anthony case. There's an interesting story of all places out of the University of Wisconsin that I'd like to get to. But first, let's hear from you guys because, Mike, I think they just want to hear from you. I think you got some questions already lined up for you. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Cam, that's you. What do you got from the top?
All right. So the first one we got is from Soli1234, all-wheel drive 2. So it says, McPhee in Sean Ryan interview at 2 hours, 59 minutes, 17 seconds says, Rangers killed civilians for no reason and at start of Iraq caused unnecessary casualties.
Well, if there's one person you can believe in the special operations world,
It's Shrek McPhee.
that's Shrek McPhee. He's just a straight shooter. He never exaggerates, and he tells it like it is. So since that's obviously the truth, why'd the Rangers do it?
Well, I guess they did it to fulfill Shrek's dreams. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not aware of that, to be honest with you, especially in the beginning of the war. But like I said, the source is not the most
Consider the
trustworthy.
source?
Yeah, in my opinion.
All right, there's your answer. I haven't heard of that either. I may have been a few places, saw a few things, but I didn't see that.
Okay.
All right, what else we got?
On to the next one. So also from Soli, he's got a few for us.
All right.
So Delta thought bad of them and didn't want them. Later, Rangers got good. True question mark? Brent said this is false.
I don't know. I would say, at least when I was there, we always provided what you guys asked for. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
at least the way I saw it, at least the Line Ranger Battalion guys did. I think that's why Ranger Regiment has stayed so close with you guys throughout the years.
You can go all the way back to Operation Eagle Claw, right? We had Rangers with us, but I think let me expound on that a little bit, as if like the Rangers were bad and got good. Guess who else was bad at the beginning of the war?
All of us. All of us.
All of us. The amount of people that I've interviewed, and the amount of Tier1, white side, soft, from almost every background that were at the beginning of the war, basically all admitted how much they sucked and how much they weren't really ready for war. Man, who was it? Gotta think. It was Alex West, SEAL Team 6. I'm almost positive that's who it was. He gets into Afghanistan as a new guy, and one of the first missions, not missions, but things he had to do was go drive around the airfield under nods, because he had never done it before. No one had. It just wasn't something they did before.
Well, people
before
don't
9/11.
realize night vision was, it wasn't a new thing for the GWAT, but the way in which we used them was a new thing relatively for the GWAT, to be honest with you. I mean, it happened in Black Hawk Down, but like before that, really the way that we used night vision was a new way that we used them in the GWAT.
For sure. And that happened right at the beginning of this explosion of technology, really. And so the best we had at the time were, and we had 7 series. They went from Bravos to Charlies to Deltas that I know of. Yeah. And those weren't good. So I'm sure there was an Alpha, but I wasn't there for it. And I can imagine how bad those were.
Remember the PVS-4 on the saw? That big
Oh,
freaking
yeah. Oh,
thing?
yeah. Right. And it wasn't ready to be driven with. To some degree, you know what I mean? Like it'd be dangerous to do that, and it was dangerous. But they did dangerous things. But yeah, it's luckily night vision, and was one of those things of technology that things got better. The 14s, it's crazy. I go train SWAT teams, and some SWAT teams like, well, we only got PVS 14, so we don't really have night vision capability. Like, do you know how many people murdered people wearing PVS 14s? Yeah, like it is more than capable. Yeah. Like it's like they have this like Panos or nothing, or pirate goggles or nothing. Like
seriously,
no. I when I first got my first set of 14s, when I first got my first deployment was 7 Deltas. I was on an ODA in 2004, and we didn't have 14s. I didn't get it to my next trip. I was so excited that I felt like our team had gone into the 21st century.
Yeah. Well, I started off in Ranger Battalion with we had some PVS 14s, the single monoculars when I first got there, but most dudes had the dual tube PVS 15s. Remember the old green ones? Yeah. They were heavy as heck though, but like I rocked those things the majority of the GWAT, right? Those dual tube green PVS 15s, and then the 31s came out. Like that's probably I don't know, 2010 or maybe sooner than that. No, it was probably 2008. They came out, and I was even resistant against them at first because I like them old 15s. But then I threw on a set of 31s. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much better. And I've rocked Panos before, and I've jumped them on jumps. Me personally, I prefer dual tubes versus Panos, especially under canopy, because they're just so broad, trying to get them past your risers, turning your head, you know?
If I'm going to land and do something, and the jump is just the infill, if I'm going to land and do something, I'll still wear Panos. But if it's just a jump, I'm going to wear dual tubes for that same reason. As soon as it hits your risers, it's kind of annoying.
It's just easier.
Yeah. All right. We got off on a tangent there.
All right, so on to the next one, and just wanted to say, Sully, thank you so much for your support. You got another one coming in. So it's quality difference between normal infantry and Rangers, ? Any infantry close to Ranger standards, ?
Now, this is a great question, and I want to preface it for this. Because Rangers so often get, and rightfully so, get compared to like, what's the difference between Rangers and Green Berets? What's the difference between Rangers and SEALs? Because they're in the special operations world. But at the end of the day, they're still an infantry unit. And no one really sizes them up against other infantry units and say, hey, what's the comparity in the infantry world? Because they are a specialized light infantry. So I really like this question.
And we talked about this earlier, and it even applies to when guys go to like Delta Force or like RRC and places like that. They're competing against regular infantry for promotion, and so Rangers always it's like 100%, like 80 to 100% success rate, because they're competing against those dudes, but they have all the schools, all the skills, all the extra funding and training. So it is different. And the reason that Rangers remain infantry, and the Ranger Regiment was good about that. You know, like SF changed its MOS to Special Forces.
Right.
And when they did that, they couldn't kick dudes out as easy. Ranger Regiment maintained that 11 Bravo MOS, which SF used to have. Yeah. And like if you look at the Delta Force dudes, most of the dudes that are rocking the tan berets, they're still 11 Bravos, right? So those dudes are still competing against Rangers and other infantrymen. So it's a way by retaining that 11 Bravo MOS that the Ranger Regiment can kick you out like that. Because if you mess up, they can kick you to anywhere else in the Army that has an 11 Bravo. So it makes it easier for us to get rid of our turds.
Do you think the Ranger Regiment lost its identity as an infantry unit? And if so, probably out of necessity during the GWAT. And what I mean by that is, could you still count on them to go in the woods and patrol? Could you still count on them for raids and ambushes and 7-8 infantry standards? Or they lose that?
No, they're still totally capable of that. I mean, it's pretty easy stuff. And all of the stuff that they're doing is more of like an advanced layer to that anyway. So yeah, they can still do that. They're probably not as good as they used to be at it. I'll admit that. Because they've been more focused at the urban raid stuff, which is like not the typical infantry. But yeah, they're still capable.
And just make sure that the quality difference between normal infantry and Rangers. Any infantry close to is there any infantry close to Ranger standards?
None that I know of. I mean, unless it's some foreign units. I know the British have like a support unit for their SAS that's supposed to be like Rangers, and I would assume they're infantry, and I would assume they're probably similar to Rangers, but I've never worked with them.
I'm gonna take a stab in the dark here, and I'll tell you why I think they're not the Rangers, but possibly a close infantry unit is out of the 101st, the Rakkasans.
I've heard good things, yeah.
And the reason is like Rangers, they're very proud and they love their high standards and they love to think they're better than people by showing them that our standards are better and we'll prove it. And with that culture, I think they're better. And at the end of the day, no one's a Ranger.
And that's the thing. It's the culture. Yeah. The culture is what like produces this result, right? And then you got Ranger Regiment has a good culture, but then on top of that, it has immense funding as well. So I think that's the kind of the piece. And a lot of people don't realize this, but I had an officer tell me, he said, do you know that one Ranger battalion gets more funding for ammo than the entire United States Marine Corps? I don't know if that's true, but that's what some officer quoted to me. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
That's true. Just say it like it's truth. They can't.
It probably is.
They can't Google that. Now, if it's something they can Google, be careful. But no, just send that one. Yeah. We're gonna go with that one.
I'll say it as truth.
All right. What else we got?
Here, real quick. I don't mean to skip everyone, but
Oh,
Mr.
Bo.
Darren B. He put $300 in. He said, Tier 1 and 50 for the Fallen, 25th anniversary of 9/11 event. Let's make this event of biblical proportions. I just wanted to shout him out. That's massive.
Oh, for sure. Hey, you know that picture I showed you of the guy jumping the K9 at a 10th grade?
Oh yeah.
That's him.
Oh, that's that guy. Oh,
and
that's awesome.
He's part of that nonprofit 50 for the Fallen. So they do like 50 miles. They do a lot of things, but for the Fallen.
Really?
And they're going to New York City for this anniversary, 25th anniversary of 9/11. They're going to hold a really big event, and us as a Tier 1 podcast and some of our Patreon members, we're going to go down there and support that.
They do fitness events, like long distance. Dude, link me up with these guys, man, because I like to do that kind of stuff if I can.
Yeah, sure. In fact, you'll have to wear our shirt. You'll be a part of the Tier 1 squad.
I'm down.
We'll claim you.
All right, so getting back on track, another one from Soli. So can RRC perform as well as Delta/ST6 in firefights, ? Is Brent wrong to say Delta is the best Tier 1 unit?
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, let me answer that one. We don't need anything from Brent on this one. So I personally, from a guy that's outside, a third party, right? I will tell you Delta Force is the best, most hands down, the most professional, most capable Tier 1 unit. And I'll say that because RRC is very small. We have a capability set that is within some of their capability sets as well. And within that, like when it comes to tactical reconnaissance and infiltrating with military free fall into like an austere drop zone, I'd say RRC is probably the best, hands down. But I'll say that like Delta Force has a much more robust organization, and they're capable of a lot more things than we're capable of.
I agree with that answer. By the way, Bo already texted me. He was like, tell him we do Spartan races, events, and other things.
Sweet.
Link us up. So
Sweet.
I got you.
All right, so on to the next one. It's from Caden Smith-HG. It says, please make a video, I would assume, of you doing a shoot house or drills, please.
Who, me?
Whether it's me or you, I think it's going to take more than $2 for you to do a video. It'll get a super chat read, but it won't get a video made.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
Thanks, Cade.
The production cost is just way too much.
Yeah, thanks, Cade. I'm just giving you a hard time.
So on to the next one. We got one from Ricky Schneider. It says, what's up with Mike Glover's Singleton CQB tactic from the video he did with DJ Shipley? What tier is that tactic, LOL?
I have seen someone sent me a video, I think in the Patreon, of him doing one man like CQB like down. It's like down a hallway.
It looks weird.
And he's like, hey, you tuck it and then you look left and you look right. So Singleton, I'm gonna get nerdy for a second. And I'm splitting hairs here, but there is no such thing as Singleton CQB. That would be like you saying, hey, I'm going to go do some SUT in the woods by myself.
Yeah.
Can't, you can't. It's
never planned for. It's like a worst case scenario. Singleton CQB.
Right. So to do it, we have to call it something else. Just right off the bat. Just to get really technical with it. But I didn't see exactly what video he put out. If it's with DJ, I mean, I respect DJ, and I've taught with him in the catwalk. And if DJ's putting it out, it's probably pretty legit.
I think it was
but
a joke. I think it was a joke.
I need to look at it.
Did you watch? You didn't watch it?
No, but
they have their rifles way down here, and then they go around and they bring them up. I think it was a joke, but I think
it's a little satire
I think it was
in it.
Satire.
All right, now. Well,
got to
good thing I
watch
didn't
it.
say too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no telling. I will say DJ is a good teacher from the times that I've worked with him
Yeah,
too.
you done
doing
free fall,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, DJ was solid, man. I wouldn't say that he would put out some bad stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, on to the next one. We got one from Joe Williams, 7819. Looking forward to the show. Here's 50 for my appreciation for you for all you guys do. By the way, Drew, I'm completely hooked on the cigars now.
There you go. I'm telling you, we're bringing just good old fashioned. I don't know why I said it like that. Just good old
Just got back
fashioned.
from Tennessee.
Some Nashville rubbed off on me.
Gross.
We were talking about this earlier. Just we're bringing back good old fashioned man stuff.
Yeah.
Because- and again, like everything in moderation. But guess what? Like, if you're not, drink a little bit, smoke a little bit, lift a little bit, eat some good foods a little bit, enjoy life a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and if you're going to go heavy in one of those, go heavy on lifting. Go heavier on eating good. You know, like go heavier on the good stuff. But when it comes time, go take a vacation and enjoy that vacation.
Yeah.
I think we just lost sight of manliness. I wish there was a better way to say that.
Bro, like manliness has it's an art that died hundreds of years ago. And like we're just trying to revive it. And we talked a little bit about that. I don't want to get into that piece of it, but yeah, it's a lost art. And it revolves around standing up for what you believe in and you know, honestly putting your foot down at certain points for certain things that may not be popular.
Here's an unpopular opinion I'll say out loud. Things have gone awry in this country to some degree, but you know who's at fault for it? Men.
All of us.
All of
you
us.
guys too.
Men
Just
let
so
it
you know,
happen.
all of us.
Right.
It's our fault.
Yeah, but I guess that's the counter of it. If you can let it go, and I'm not talking about in some like violent way, like we're gonna take it back. We're gonna take it back by showing what real men look like, what real men act like. They're capable of violence, capable of it, not just randomly
just doing
violent men. Yeah, they're capable of protecting. They're capable of being the most sincere, genuine, humble, nice people. And I think that's what younger men will look at, and they'll see the difference between the two, and godly men as well. By the way, it's at that end.
That's the key.
And they're going to look at those two options that they have at life, and I'm going to go, that's the camp I want to be in.
Yeah,
It'll be obvious.
They see guys like us who could kill, like you said, but yet walk around refrained and treat other people with respect, right? And that's the way it's supposed to be.
It is the way it's supposed to be. Which reminds me, speaking of, we've let this go too long, too far. I have this crazy news story. I'm just going to read it. I don't want to make Cam's job any more difficult than it had to be. So I was like, you don't have to bring up videos or anything. Just make it go. University of Wisconsin graduate student apologizes for false claims of being BIPOC or BIPOC, which is Black Indigenous Person of Color. So they said they were Black Indigenous Person of Color, and they weren't. So just read the story for you a little bit. I'm going to bring this around, let you know what this pertains to this conversation, but just want to show you how crazy we've gotten. UW graduate student CV Vitalo Haddad apologized and resigned from their teaching assistant position after allegations of falsely claiming to be a person of color. The move comes after UW alumnus Jessica Krug, now a former associate professor of George Washington University, revealed in a post on Medium she had been lying about being Black throughout her professional life. And it just goes on and on and on. She outright refused to explicitly state her racial identity, which made people start to question about it. She came out and apologized and said, she her apologize is just, I'm trying to make sense of my experience with race. I grossly misstepped. I went along with however people saw me. I over-identified with unreliable and unproven family history and latched on to anything I remembered growing up. So she pretended to be Black, got called out and said, you're not Black and you're pretending to be Black and you have to stop that. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Does anyone else not see the irony in what's going on here? If you're a man and you pretend to be a woman, we have to accept that. Mm-hmm. But if you pretend to be another race, we hate you. And that is, you're not living in reality, and you need to wake up and you need to come to grips with reality. Yeah. And we'll call you out and you'll have to step down and you'll be shamed publicly. But you can
Even though that's harder to prove. Even though it's much harder to prove. Do you actually have that race? Like, do you have even the slightest infantile of a blood drop of that race?
I bet if you did a 23andMe, I bet you're 2% African.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
probably so. We all have a little bit of black in us.
Right. But you're 100% man or you're 100% female.
Yeah.
Like we've lost it.
Yeah,
but,
it's nuts.
But again, when it comes to the left, I've said this before, if it wasn't for double standards, the left would have no standards at all.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense that they double down on this reality and they're like, nah, that's not reality. We're going to stick it to you. But if you pretend to be a different gender or a furry or whatever else that they'll pretend to be, we all got to play along with your silly games.
Yeah. It's
We've
insane.
lost it. And again, at the end of the day, we let it happen.
Yeah, us men.
Just gotta take
our
responsibility for it.
responsibility. And here's the thing. People watching this podcast, you're watching it because you're looking at military guys typically. Well, we're supposed to be leaders, right? The men are supposed to be leaders. That's the way God put it. And when we're not leading, things happen. Folly happens.
That's
It's
right.
just like the military.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? We're responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen within our team.
Yeah. All right. So the next super chat.
All right, another one from Soli here. It says, "Do most Rangers / other soldiers quit on RRC selection? ? What are main reasons for failure? ?
Good question.
Well, for that, we have guys from outside of the Ranger Regiment that try out for selection. It's similar to like you guys up at the unit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been open for a while now, but it's mostly dudes from the regiment that come. But there are some regular Army dudes that put in packets. And honestly, when I was in that unit, I'd say probably 25% of the unit were dudes who'd never been in the regiment before, who came from selection from the outside.
I assume they have to have a Ranger tab.
Yeah, they do.
That's the prerequisite.
Yep.
A Ranger tab, E4 or E5. Is there a?
They got to
range?
be like, I think the requirements is similar to y'all's. It's like E4, but like nobody makes it as an E4. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody. It's typically E6s or above that make it with a tab. And then they have to be a Ranger too first. So even if they're not out, like even if it's a Green Beret, they have to go through RASP and pass that first and then go to selection.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you got to be a Ranger first. So technically everybody comes from the Ranger Regiment. So even outside dudes have to select to be a Ranger. And if they make that, then they can go to RRC selection.
All right. And of course, we'll talk about it more in this podcast, but we go into depth on this on the recording, which is really cool because you were the first Ranger and first RRC guy that we've had. So we got to ask a lot of questions about that and go into a little bit more detail. And heck, I learned something.
Okay, so on to the next one. Another one from Soli. Which enemy is hardest to fight? ? And then, do you respect them ?
Yeah, I never got to mess with the Syrians like Brent did, but he said those guys were brutal compared to the Afghans. But I knew there were some Chechnyan fighters and some of these foreign fighters that would come in through the East in Afghanistan, and those dudes would be legit, and we could tell the difference between them. They were actually legitimately trained. They were hardened dudes. They had battle fighting experience in other conflicts, so they were more hard to deal with. And if you don't respect your enemy, you're ignorant, right? Because they can kill you just as easily as you can kill them. And we had better technology, we had better tactics and stuff like that, but we must respect our enemy because they can still kill you.
Yeah. I've always said if you're close enough to take their life, then by default, they're close enough to take yours.
For sure.
I mean, it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. And we come out on top because of technology and training and because we're Americans and they're not. But you roll the dice enough and you will roll snake eyes.
Yeah.
They will get lucky eventually.
You said that
just will.
perfectly. You roll the dice enough, you will roll snake eyes eventually.
Just a matter of time.
You're going to die eventually.
All right, so on to the next one from just another 11B. It just says, no reason, no comment, just because.
Thanks a lot, brother. We appreciate it.
Just another 11B. Stick around. I got something for you later.
Okay, so the next one after that is from Zulu Whiskey. It says, what's up, boys? What are the similarities and differences between RRD, ST6, Black Squadron, and Delta's Gray Squadron?
I would say, from what I know, there are a lot of similar capabilities, a lot of overlap there, but typically, and I'd say a lot of similarities because RRD or RRC is doing that job for the Ranger Regiment, whereas like SEAL Team 6 Black Squadron and Gray Squadron are doing that for their parent units. Whereas like we also do that in support of JSOC, but those guys do as well. So I think it's a lot of overlap and a lot of similarities. And I worked with a lot of those guys back in the day.
Yep. There is a lot of overlap on that. And the overlap on it's weird because it's just like assaulters. There are times in the military where like, we have too many. We don't need this. But there's other times like no one expected us to be, at war with two different countries at the same time and essentially surging both countries. I mean, there was a time that you guys, as a line unit, were acting like a tier 1 assault company and just going after targets because we couldn't get enough door kickers. And Intel's the same way. There's ups and downs. There's times where it feels like that's just overlap when we got a lot of them. And there's other times where just everybody's busy.
Yeah.
But you can't create the need once you need it.
Yeah, it has to be pre-created.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And we did kind of create it behind the power curve. Like we talked about, they did away with desert phase of Ranger School right before the Desert War and never brought it back.
Yeah.
The same thing with all the units like Delta Force, Ranger Regiment, everybody increased their numbers during the GWAT mid-stroke. They should have probably done it beforehand, but they didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So on to the next one. Another one from Mr. Soli. It says, ever have fun in war, ? Is sense of humor important, ?
Some of the funnest and funniest times I've ever had is in war.
Yeah.
It's such a, we just talked about like how you got to respect your enemies, and we did. But as soon as like sector was secure, the boys are just going to be boys.
and here's the thing, and I know this is sad to say, but we were trained to be killing machines. And like, if you didn't enjoy killing those people, then you probably weren't in the right job. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't look at it that way necessarily anymore. But at the time when I was there, dude, I enjoyed killing those people. It was fun for me. Like we talked about who wants to be hearing gunshots. We're like, we hear the snap, snap, snap of the crack. And we're like, hey, where's that coming from? Let's go get in it. And that's just the way it was. So it was fun, but there was fun in war. We talked a little bit about that today where, I got wrapped up and hogtied by a cow who ran circles around me and ended up girth hitching its like tether around my legs and took me down. And I've seen that happen multiple times. So there are fun things that happen too. And that's like, I think the best one I can think off the cuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Just funny. It's the most serious of times. It's the funniest of times. Those type of people that will do that job are extreme in everything.
Yeah.
And including being funny, I'm not saying everyone's a comedian, but the same. There's a higher concentration of funny guys, and the real funny ones are really funny.
And it's extreme. For example, we did a surveillance trip one time, and one of my guys took somebody's fish tacos. Now, stuck the to-go box in the glove box and shut it and left the car for like a couple days. And old boy went back to go get his car from surveillance. Oh my God, that thing stunk.
That's good shenanigans.
That's not nice.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
That's funny. That's funny.
But it's not nice.
How long did it take him to find it? Because at some point you're like, why does it smell like
God,
this?
this car smells like rotten fish.
Oh, man. What else we got?
All right. So we have one from, Coalition. Wait. All right. I'm going to butcher this name. Coalition asshat.
Coalition
asshat.
asshat.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Brent,
Drew would be proud of you mispronouncing that.
Fair.
You're doing good.
Fair. So Brent, have you talked about Spear Operations Group? What do you think? Also just got the Sweet Tip cigars. Awesome.
Speaking of Drew would be happy. Drew would be happy with that. He really pioneered those Sweet Tip cigars. He's working on that for months. I don't know much about Spear Operations Group. Have you heard of them?
No, I never heard of them. Is that Obsidian Group though? Like they have the Spear thing, right?
Yeah.
OSG?
I don't know them.
Okay. All right. So on to the next one. Another one from Soli. It says thoughts on Pat Tillman cover up?
Yeah, that was a legit cover up there. Even within the Ranger Regiment, I wasn't involved, so I can't say I wasn't intimately involved with that. I wasn't there when that happened, I was in 3rd Ranger Battalion. That was 275 was over there. But from what I heard, that it was. I don't know why they covered it up. I don't know the reason for it, but there was definitely some covering that happened with that. And to be honest, I can't speak intelligently on it.
And that's fine. We'll probably have Pete Blaber come. Pete Blaber did a whole book on
Oh, did he?
on that cover up, if you will. And so we did on my last podcast. We did it. Or he came on and explained on it. It was fascinating because Pete's such a professional. Like he dug and
Wasn't he an officer and then went to y'all's unit, right?
Yeah. Pete's great. This is kind of what I want to say about that. It's going to sound weird, but I'm going to spin it as a positive. And I know that's how you're going to spin this as a positive. It really is this. After 20 years of war, and a lot of opportunity, a lot of money that's been passed around in war, a lot of opportunities to take a large amount of questionable shots and not. There's a lot of opportunity to embarrass your country and to embarrass your unit. How many things can you name, at least publicly, because some things should be kept, in-house if it's not big, you know what I mean? Like I'm not mad about that.
Yeah.
The Pat Tillman thing should have been publicly, and it got called out. How many black eyes do the Rangers have after 20 years of war?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is that one.
Yeah, is that one.
And if that's
really, if that's the only one,
and I hate to say it,
it is a bad thing to say.
It is a bad thing, and that was a cover up from headquarters on up.
Yeah,
that wasn't the boys on the ground. That was some CYA and some careerism going on. And so again, I'm not trying to necessarily, but there are. We'll just say there are other units with a list of things.
Yeah,
and I am really
Tier
proud.
1 units. You know
just leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. But I'm proud of where we came from.
Yeah.
That the amount of embarrassing things that we did, because we represent what's best of this country.
Yeah.
And there's such a small amount of things because we are human, run by humans that are fallible.
And not only that,
really proud of that track record.
And it's war, bro. Like nothing happens perfectly in war. We plan missions and they almost never go exactly as planned.
Yeah.
But the plan is the script and we try to stick to it as much as we can. But that's the thing. Sometimes friendlies get killed in war. I mean, there's other instances of that happening and it legitimately happens for real.
Yeah.
But there's no need to cover it up. We just need to be honest about it.
When you hear the real story, how it happened, when Pete Blaber was done laying it out, it was a perfect storm. When I was done with that, with him explaining it, I thought two things. One, how could this happen? This should never happen. Because at the end of the day, it should never happen.
No.
And at the same time, I'm like, I understand how this happened.
Yeah.
Complete chaos. Two elements got separated. They got into an ambush on a pin.
Around a cliff.
On a, what do they call it?
A point.
A pin turn. It's called
It was like
a hairpin.
Yeah.
On a hairpin turn. And in that hairpin turn was elevated. It was just complete chaos.
Worst
I
case
was like,
scenario.
man, I don't think it should have happened, but I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been in that situation before. Like when I was working with the Omega programs and for the people out there, I've wondered how people could shoot somebody under night vision, when you know that you're your friendlies. But I came around a corner, I'll just tell you guys, and I looked at one of the ground branch guys, one of the agency guys, and what he was dressed in, for some reason, it looked like he had a turban on. Yeah. Like a Haji turban on, standing there, and I'm looking at this dude. I'm getting ready to smoke this dude. My rifle's on him, my laser's on him, and the safety is off. Getting ready to send the trigger, and I'm like, something gave me just double check that. And I flipped back to safe, went back around the corner, and I said, let me come back and check that guy again. I popped back up, hit him with my laser, and I saw laser glint off of his night vision. And I was like, holy crap, I almost smoked that dude. But he looked like an Afghan. He was dressed like an Afghan, had a turban. He didn't even have a turban on. He had a helmet on. And he was wearing civilian clothes,
right.
But he had a helmet on.
Yeah.
But it looked like a turban under night vision for some reason. But when he turned back around, I saw the light or the glint off the lenses, and I didn't shoot him.
Because the mind's a weird thing, and the mind will in a weird way. Here's a great example of that, because I misspell things all the time and I proofread it. And in my mind, when I read it, my mind corrects it. And it happens all the time. If you read something real quick, and your mind will show you a correctly spelled thing. Like the mind will kind of show you what you want to see to some degree. Here's another good example of that. I've talked about this before. I essentially turned the corner, and same thing. I went lasers on, safety off. I'm pulling the slack out of my trigger. But something doesn't look right. And it's just like 3 a.m. We just got into a nasty firefight. And it looks like this person is, I make it up, 100 feet away because of its size. But something is telling me this, as I'm like right on the, who knows how much little it would have taken to go off.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, I'm looking, I'm trying to figure out. It wasn't a regular sized person far away. It was what appeared to be like a 4 or 5-year-old child closer to me.
Dang, dude.
But my mind was never prepared on a low loom night
with
under
night vision on
to turn the corner and see a 4 or 5-year-old kid. It was only ready to see a full grown man. But again, something was odd. That was early in my career. I almost smoked a kid that was just out walking around.
Almost
in the
smoked a
middle
ground branch guy
of the night. That would have ruined my whole career.
Yeah,
I probably would have got kicked out of SF, possibly.
Yeah.
It would. I believe that would have changed the trajectory of my whole career.
Yeah, I almost smoked a ground branch guy. I mean, I was already in working with JSOC at the time, but. Like you, and for the people out there, these decisions happen in a fraction of 1 second, right? Like you ID the target, you're flipping, like while you're IDing it, you're already flipping it from safe to semi and easing up in that slack on the trigger, like Brent was talking about. So there's not a whole lot of time to make these decisions, but something was not right to me. And I backed off the trigger, pulled back to my cover, and I said, let me check that guy again. I popped back around the cover, popped back up on him. I was like, man, that's a friendly, and I didn't shoot him.
And in both of our instances, if it would have happened, we would have never forgiven ourselves.
Yeah.
And we'd have dealt with that the rest of our lives.
For sure, dude.
Oh man. I still get a little bit odd feeling just talking about how close I was to killing a
I know.
a child on
This
accident.
dude was like my age. He was like my age now. He was a ground branch dude. He was like 50 years old, like close to my age. And dude was like already retired from the Ranger Regiment. It was a former Ranger too, working for ground branch over there, and I almost smoked this dude, a legend in the Ranger Regiment, working for the agency, and I almost killed that dude.
Man. What else we got?
All right, another one from Soli. It says, "Is it wrong for Tier 1 to go public with stories?" ?
That is the question. That is the question. I think Tier 1 people should be public, and I think there's certain things that they should talk about. Also think,
reason.
Right, yeah, right, and yeah. What's your purpose? Why you do it?
Yeah.
But they're unlike Whiteside, and it's just how I feel. I think Whiteside guys should tell whatever stories they want to. Whiteside, like they're not secret organizations, and we need young men
to join those,
to hear these stories and have a reason to join. But I kind of draw the line at war stories themselves with Tier 1 units to a degree. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I agree with you. And the stories need to be told. They're just told on a different platform these days. Back in the day, I mean, look at like what made me want to join the military. Reading books about Rangers and Delta Force dudes, or like Rangers and SEALs in Vietnam and SF dudes in Vietnam, and then Delta Force and stuff after that. So we've all read the stories, and now we're just putting it on TV. So you watch it in a telegraphed way versus then the written way, but we do need to do it with couth. You know what I mean? We need to make sure that we keep it professional and don't reveal things that are going to hurt our boys in the future. And none of the stuff we're speaking about. And here's the thing: people are going to say half the stuff that we say is classified, but there's a lot of stuff I could talk about that Brent and I would consider classified that's still technically not classified.
Yeah, it's really weird. I've edited out things on this podcast with other Tier 1 guys that have said classified things, and that just kind of spilt out. And I told them later, like, "Hey, you said that. I'm going to edit that out." The classified stuff actually isn't not all of it is that cool.
Yeah.
Some of it's like really
Gay.
right.
Yeah.
But it is linked to capabilities.
It is. Yeah.
And you can't reveal any capabilities and especially this was the unit's point right now, which is if this guy's walking the line and he's giving a little bit of information, and then this guy is, and then this guy is, and then this guy is, the enemy is going to look at that and holistically be able to put the pieces of that together. So let's not talk about operations.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, and that's how we gather intel. We get a little bit here,
Right.
we get a little bit there,
Right.
and we put it all together and make one big picture.
Right.
So that's true, but we can keep it in like with the war stories, as long as we're not talking tactics, techniques, and procedures,
Right.
like how we set this up and then how we stage that.
Yeah.
We're good. We killed bad guys. Yeah, that happens in every war. You know,
Right.
but
That's
how
not a
we
secret.
killed him. How we killed him is our secret.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, how we did it, that stays with us.
Yeah.
All right, we got another one from Coalition Asshat. Do you guys think with technology and robots and drones that in the near future, the idea of a guy in camo physically going through a door in combat just becomes a thing of the past?
That's a good question because I want to argue against it.
It'll never happen. I'll say this will never happen. Like, you're not going to have a robot in our lifetime that can think the way that we can on the fly with compassion, with human relations. You know what I mean? Think about that.
I know.
It's a deity, like a human being. Like, you and I believe differently. We believe that we're beings created by a God, a creator. So we have a different ability to reason than a machine.
I think large scale wars will be fought by machines, but the idea that we're done with humans going through the door,
There you go.
I think hostage rescue at the end of the day has to be put in the hands of humans. Certain high value targets where problem solving, and not just AI analytical problem solving, but true problem solving that only humans can do, will have to be done with humans. But I think it'll. I'm not saying it'll be a thing of the past, but I think it will have a smaller footprint in war.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm telling you, like the stuff like you're saying, like hostage rescue or even reconnaissance, man, you're not going to do that with a robot. Like you can do certain aerial things with a robot, but to get the actual details, you need close up. I don't know that you can always do that with a robot. And you're right, the hostage rescue, you're definitely not going to be able to do that with a robot.
And I can see maybe some hybrid stuff where there's still like maybe a robot that leads it in, not in a lethal way, but almost as a shield,
Sacrificial lamb.
as a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we'll be able to figure out how to incorporate them, but it's still not going to completely remove the human element. But here's the other thing: even if we go to robots, humans will always be the backup. I mean, what happens if you hit them with an EMP?
Yeah, it's all dead.
And they all fall. You don't have a human army to be like, oh, it's our turn. We're back up.
Well, let's reconsider this. We ain't got nobody no more.
Right.
We had robots.
Right. And what I just say about intel units and those door kicking units, like you can't, once you need them, you can't make them. Like they have to be a ready force,
Correct.
ready to go. By the time you get into creating them when you need them, it's too late.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, I think we will always have a human army, even when we have a robot army, or we better.
There's going to be at least humans controlling the robots,
right?
At least initially. Yeah.
I've said this before because it's just a cool saying. It said, I don't know of what weapons World War III will be fought with, but I know that World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. And I think. I don't think we'll get to a 4, but I think, but the thought behind that saying, I think is really interesting. That's for sure.
It has more value than most people recognize, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. What else we got?
All right, we got one from TBD Sear. It says, "Man, I'm so glad this is finally happening. Welcome, Mike. I've asked this before, but I need Mike's opinion. Who wins in a fight to the death? Siberian tiger or a Kodiak brown bear?"
These are the questions
gosh.
that Mike's here for. This is what
what
the world
a
wants.
question, man.
Oh, we used to
I am a cat guy. So I'm gonna say the Siberian tiger, because it's amazing the power that cats have. You know what I mean? That's just what I'm gonna stick with.
All right. We used to get really weird questions. I'm gonna screw it up off the top of my head. Steve, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Right. Like, would you rather fight one Goliath-sized duck or 100
Penguins.
mice-sized ducks? You know, like just things like that. Sometimes they're just funny, but some of them are like,
Where
hold on,
are they thinking of this from?
I got to think about this. I want to give this guy a good answer because that's a good question. Yeah, we used to get really funny.
You have to
questions
dig
like
deep
that.
on these.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next one. Aaron Ferrales, 3042. It says, FRCC coffee is thoroughly enjoyed by my crew. God
Nice.
bless you guys for the work you do.
Man, thank you, Aaron. I really, really appreciate that.
God bless you too.
It is 8:50. Just gonna let you guys know, I haven't forgot about this. I know there are some people watching that may think you were supposed to give away those nods last week. Are you ever going to give them away? When we get back from the break, I will give away this whole setup as promised.
So that Mike can take him home with him and shoot at his range.
Hurry up and join Patreon.
All right, on to the next one from Sam Quaratiello, 3321. It says, Brent, thank you for taking the time to chat with me in Nashville.
Sam,
and
yes.
thank you for the picture. It was truly humbling to meet you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, that was awesome. Cool, Sam. Good to see you here in the chats. It was good to see you in Nashville as well.
All right, another one from Mr. Soley. It says, how much firefight experience is needed for a soldier to become good on average in war?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll let you take a swing at that first.
So that is a good question, but here's the thing. A soldier's trained before war. So he should be trained prior to that firefight, but you never know how that soldier's going to react until that firefight. And the experiences vary. And sometimes a soldier can react to that firefight in a negative way, but still recover from it. But sometimes most of the times they're going to recover from it in a positive way and continue to progress on, if that makes sense. Yeah. But ultimately, you're trained before the war, but you never know how they're going to react until the experience.
I'm gonna do my best to verbalize this answer. So, and I'll start it off with this. It's almost like leadership. In this aspect, people ask me all the time, like, can leadership be born, or can you train a leader? And I believe this to be the answer. You're a born leader, but I don't really mean it in that aspect. By the time you're an adult and it's time for you to have the ability to be a leader, it's your childhood. It's everything that formed you early on that allowed you to be a leader. And you can take someone who has been, but we'll give that term a born leader, and we can make him a better leader with tools,
training,
but you can't make a bad leader good no matter what seminar he went to.
I agree with you.
And that's kind of how I view guys, warriors in a firefight. They have this innate sense about them that somehow through their childhood as a young man, they were formed to be here in this moment. And we can add on things to make them a better warrior.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you.
They're that guy. They've always been that guy. But if you
somebody honed it,
honed
it and focused it,
yeah.
Right? And it could be just the military, right, or just the Ranger Regiment, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Focus that, and you take a natural born leader and create him into what he thrives at, right? But you're right. But you can take a dude who's not a leader, and put him into that same thing that's calling him to be a leader, and he could be a mediocre leader, but he's not going to be great.
That's right. But if you're not that guy, you can go all the way through Delta Force training. And if you're not that guy, when things hit the fan, you won't be that guy then.
Yeah, and that's when it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
All right, on to the next one is from just another 1B. It says, got the first Lion Arms CAG 15 in the shop today. Very cool serial number.
Magnet. Do you know what serial number that is?
1.
Nice.
Is it CAG 00?
It's Daddy.
Daddy 001.
Yeah, for Cag Daddy. 'Cause that's what everybody calls Brent.
It's I dislike the name Cag Daddy. It just doesn't. It doesn't,
I know what you
doesn't
mean.
sit right with me. There's worse names than that. Don't get me wrong.
He made a really cool video about it too.
It's a humbling to some sort nickname.
I took it.
Yeah,
Put it on
nice.
the guns
Yeah.
for Brent.
All right, on to the next one from Kane Korsov. It says,
Kane Korsov, good to see you back in the chats, brother.
says, with the rapid development of cheap drone warfare and what we're seeing in Ukraine, do you think that infantryman or ODA will become obsolete? If so, would that be a good thing, a bad thing, or a disappointing thing?
So, kind of a similar question we just touched on, but we'll hit it up with the end of that question. Would that be a good thing, a bad thing?
It would be a
or
bad
disappointing
thing because that means where we know that the Bible leads us to eventually. So we don't want men to be obsolete. But yeah, I don't think men will ever be obsolete, just like we talked about, because there's just certain things that you can't do. And yeah, with this drone technology and the surveillance from above, there's also technology coming in to block the surveillance from above as well. There's thermal cover that dudes can do in recce that you can put over. It's just like a little sheet of like cellophane, but it literally blocks your entire thermal signature. So there's ways around it.
Excuse me. One thing, it's a limit for now. And again, technology has been just so crazy, over this time frame that even though it's a limitation now, I don't know if it'll continue to be a limitation. But at the end of the day, what humans have over robots is essentially a much easier energy resupply source. And what I mean by that is that we don't really have. It's one of the reasons we're having a hard time with electric cars and our alternative fuel like aerial vehicles, like if you will, the Jetsons, because batteries only go for so long. You have to recharge them for even longer. You have to have some way to recharge them. And even though it may not be ideal, at the end of the day, you can send humans, as you very well know, into the woods with little to nothing, and they'll go for days and days and days, if not weeks.
Yeah.
So I really think at the end of the day, there's a energy itself is a limitation.
Dang,
until
that's a good way to
until
put
they
it.
fix that, humans won't be obsolete.
Bro, I have never looked at it that way, but dude, that nailed it. You nailed it. That's a good way to look at it. I never thought of it that way.
Well, thank you. Every now and again I say something smart, but don't worry.
I mean, it makes a ton of
Give me
sense.
about 10 minutes, and I will overshadow that with something completely stupid.
Yeah, me too.
Or forget a simple word and be like, can the same guy not remember that word, but put that together? Yep, that's me.
All right, on to the next one. It's from Brenda's Taint.
Nice name.
It says, hey, Brent, were you in country when the Battle of Wenat went down? Also, would the outcome be different if an ODA were present when it kicked off?
So the Battle of Wenat, man, great question.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Battle of Wenat as well as I do, and I wish I could remember more details about it because I had to write a paper in SLC about the Battle of Wenat. And it was just, everything about it was bad. They picked a bad place. They picked the low ground. There was dead space where the enemy could maneuver. The enemy eventually figured it out, waylaid them, and they didn't they essentially overran them, but they didn't really overrun, but they took casualties.
Yeah, that was a crazy
They
battle.
took some big casualties. I don't remember if I don't think I was in country in the time. I feel like I would have remembered that.
I don't think I was either.
Do I think it'd been different if an ODA was there? Here's why I'm going to say yes. At the end of the day, but it's a little bit of a different answer. Those boys did react, and they tried to give him hell. But the problem was they
Limited. They were limited.
right. From where they were at, they were limited, and they did the best with the
Worst
chip sandwich.
terrain possible, too.
Right.
I mean,
An ODA would not have picked that And if an ODA was given that, and this kind of just goes to the difference, a little bit between special operations and regular and conventional. I don't remember or know if conventional pushed back and said, hey, we got to move. We have to move. We have to go to higher ground. Like, we're not going to stay here. I do believe it would have been different, because even if an ODA started there because of a place someone else picked, they would have said, no, we're not going to stay here. We're going to go to higher ground. We're going to go to a defensible position. And so that's the only reason why I think it'd be different. But an ODA has the left and right limitations and the resources to do that. So it's a little unfair to say that. So I don't want to think that was an anti conventional force thing. That's the
those dudes are
reasons behind
commanded
it.
to be there, and they probably had no say in the matter.
Yep.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, man, great question about the Battle of Wanat.
All right, so we're making it back to Mr. Darren B.
All right, covered that.
Yep.
Old Bocephus from the good state of Texas. That's gonna piss him right off.
And then the one after that is going to be from Human Performance TRT. It says, how's it going, fellas?
So that is Phil from Human Performance TRT, and we talking to Mike about that. You think we might have another affiliate joining the HPTRT train.
I'm down.
So look at, just made it official.
All right. After that, we got Jano Sun 1128. It says, I watched your live stream of Rob on Andy's pod. I challenge you on Rob being a good storyteller because my IQ isn't lower than an M4 mag. Also, when are you going to get a Wallawender on?
Oh, bring it up, Keith. I believe is who you're referring to. We'll see about that. That is funny. He is a good storyteller, but you're right. If your IQ isn't lower than M4 mag, it probably isn't going to get past you. But I appreciate that. Hey, it is 9 o'clock. We're going to stay on schedule. Hey, if you're going to be upset at us for kicking off right at 8, don't be upset at us if we're out of here at 10. That's what's called keeping a schedule. We'll see if we can't keep it. It's 9:02. It is time for a break. Can you take us to break?
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Let's do it.
We are more than makers of steel. We are brothers in craft, bound by purpose and forged in pride. Every blade we shape carries the weight of the hands that built it and the hearts that will wield it. Brotherhood Blades stands for those who refuse to quit. The protectors, the workers, the doers. We forge with integrity, we carry with pride, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with those who live by the same code. Brotherhood Blades, forged in freedom, carried with honor.
If you've ever been to any of my tactical training classes, then you know how adamant I am about the use of white light and the importance of a quality, high-powered tactical light. That's why I use cloud defensive tac lights. You can't hit what you can't see, and neither can the bad guys. Clearly identify your target and simultaneously overwhelm his vision with hundreds and even thousands of lumens. Get serious about defending yourself and your family. Go to clouddefensive.com and use promo code Tier1 to get 30% off your order. That's right, 30%. You won't find a better light than this, and you won't find a better deal than this.
Revenge is an act of passion. Vengeance is an act of justice. Injuries are revenged. Crimes are avenged. Almost a century ago, big pharmaceutical companies re-engineered medical school curriculum and faculty with one goal: putting profit before progress. Anyone pushing back against the medical matrix they carefully crafted was threatened, silenced, censored, financially ruined, or worse. They are the problem. We are the solution.
You're clear to engage. Initial Mike Juliet Alpha. You're clear to engage with weapons. You're clear to engage with weapons.
Here at the Tier 1 podcast, we're excited to have Tasty Gains as a sponsor, a company with values that aligns with ours. I take their products every day, 3 times a day. And if it wasn't a product that I didn't take personally and believe in, and a company with integrity, then they wouldn't be sponsors on this show. Creatine helps the body produce more ATP. which is an energy molecule that your entire body runs on. It helps improve your physical and mental performance in all aspects of life. Let's be honest, creatine powder sucks to take every day. With the creatine gummies, you can take them with you anywhere and they taste great. Every batch is third-party tested, so you know you're getting exactly what you pay for. Go to tastygains.com and enter the promo code Tier1, that's Tier, the number 1, and get 20% off your order. All right. Was that the last one, Cam?
Yes, sir. Yes, it was. We are back.
We are back. I don't know if you guys saw, but I put out a 30-day challenge with HP-TRT.com, one of the companies that I'm a partner with Phil, and laying out the testosterone, peptides, creatine from Tasty Gains. I'm doing it for 30 days straight. I'm just going to get after it and see the results. So stick around and follow us along with that. And I think after 30 days, then we'll just turn it in the 60-day challenge and the 90-day challenge, and that's how you get back to it. Yeah, that's just and we joking around a little bit about it. Like I did that because you need accountability. What's more accountable than putting a video out and telling everyone, "Hey, I'm going to get in shape in 30 days"?
Yeah, bro. You gave the world accountability.
Right? Yeah. Let me tell you, I spent Cam, were we in Nashville for 5 days, 6 days?
6 days.
Didn't miss a workout. Nothing to make sure that you still go to the gym, even in Nashville, after making a video and putting it out to everyone and saying, "Hey, I'm going to get in better shape in 30 days."
You got it.
Because that's almost a week. That'd be almost a quarter of
the challenge.
Of the challenge. Yeah. And so that was good. Let's talk about these real quick. Digital Panos that only I'm dumb enough to pay $4,000 for. Do a video on them, and then just give them away to our Patreon. Dumb for me, good for you. And we're going to continue giving away things on the Patreon. I don't want to spoil you guys and think it's going to be this every month. Can't afford to do that, but I can do it once. And we got other things. We got Brotherhood Blades making us a custom hatchet with my uniform being the handle on it. We have a cool Glock getting custom done as a Tier 1 gun that we're going to give away as well. How's that looking, Magnet?
Going good. I sent off last week the Do Good.
The Do Good Fund?
Yes, sir. I sent that off.
Okay. Oh yeah, that guy. I know which one you're talking about. To the wounded veteran who just wanted to go shooting with his buddies, and so we just sent him a free gun. I'm like, hey,
nice.
Go shooting with your buddies. So it's what he wanted. And guess what?
Where's he at? Where's he live at?
Do you remember where
Colorado.
Okay.
Nice.
So the winner of the nods, it's the whole setup. It's the earpieces. It's the helmet. It's the nods. Even because I had to buy them because you're going to need them. The digital panos actually work pretty well. They don't do where they really falter is lighting conditions. If
transitions,
if the light condition gets too low, they'll white out. Like they need light.
Oh, okay.
Unlike the analog ones, of course, they work better with ambient light. But even when ambient light gets really low, you can still do work in them. I mean, they're not as clear, but you can do work. This one, it doesn't take a whole lot of darkness to overwhelm it. That's okay. Just bring in the light. So just bring in IR light and wake them right back up. And so I had to bring in an IR floodlight. And the only other thing they do is because of the refresh rate on them. If you turn really quick, it blurs out.
Blurs a little bit.
But it's not that big. It's not that big of a deal.
You don't even notice it, probably.
Right. Is the Delta Force taking these things on target? No. Are they good enough to go in the woods and shoot at something furry and have a really good time? Heck yeah, they are. Heck yeah, they are. So I had to get off my soapbox a little bit and be like, hey, what are they like? Are they good enough?
Yeah.
And for $4,000, like,
You can't beat that
Come
for
on.
$4,000.
Yeah. So, remember when I told just another 11 Bravo to stick around? I got something to tell you. That's because you have won a set of Panos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. That's
Awesome.
That's who won them. Justin, are you still in the
Jonathan.
super chats? Or forget the super chats. Are you still in the chats? Let us know. I hope so. Otherwise, you'll find out eventually that that you won those bad boys.
Oh, Jonathan.
I know you're on Patreon. Obviously, you have to be on Patreon to win them. Send me an address and where to ship them out to, and they are yours, buddy.
Wow, what a nice prize.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that was cool to do. That was really cool to do.
Oh, he's still in here. He just said WTF.
Nice.
That's awesome.
There he is. He's in there, and he got him. I love it.
Shoot you.
And he's a super active guy and Patreon, so it was really cool that it was a name that I recognized. So this is how we do it. I just get a random number generator. Yep. I'll put all our Patrons in an Excel spreadsheet. They all have a number, random number generator. Hit it. And that's how we do that.
Nice.
So it was really cool that happened. There you go. You got it. There probably won't be another set of Panos, but I don't think this is going to be our last night vision. I was at the outdoor show that we were at, Cam.
Yes, sir.
And me and Devin were walking around, and there was a sight that was a night vision with thermal overlay sight on it. It was like, I don't know, it was like $1,000, $1,500, something like that. They had one that you could use in the show, and because it had like the thermal overlay on it, so I've used thermals to go hunting hogs with before, and that's what you want. You want and an overlay. So I'm really thinking about maybe doing those next, doing something like that. The reason why I love doing this is because of this. I think people are scared to buy certain technology because, like, I don't want to, like, it's a lot. I mean, I'm not rich, but this is business money, so it's marketing. It's different. Like, if I lose out on it and I just give it away to you, like, it's just part of my marketing budget. But if a person spends
it's not coming back.
Right, yeah.
You can't write it off on taxes.
Right. Their wife let them spend $1,000 on something, and it better work.
It better be
You
perfect.
know? So this is why I'm excited about doing these things, because I can come back and be like, hey, like, because it's a business, because it comes out on the marketing, I can waste my money on this, and that's fine, but it'll also make sure that you never waste your money on it. But if it works, now you don't have to be scared of it's not a gamble anymore. So I'm going to keep doing these things, and I'm excited about it. It's,
Like
really,
you said,
it's really fun.
with the thermal overlay too, those are really good for free fall jumps because you know how it is. Like you jump out like Tucson, wherever you're jumping at. Like there's tons of people out, and then there's city lights, and you can't see the strobe on your dudes.
Yeah.
The strobe, like the only way you can see your dudes is when their canopies actually break the lights.
Yep.
So when you have the thermal overlay on your night vision, like we had the 31s with the thermal overlay, bro,
I love
I can
those.
see the bodies underneath the canopy, and like I don't even need to see the canopies anymore. So it makes it a lot easier for free fall.
The only thing I didn't like about jumping, and it's just a small thing. It wasn't nighttime. It wasn't Halo at 30,000 feet at nighttime. Like, I knew whatever this rucksack was going to do to me. Like, it may be a wild ride, but I knew I was going to tame it.
It's going to do you at the ground, though.
And we've all had to do it before. Hey, if I just can't ride this thing, I'm just going to tuck it between my legs. I'm going to punch it a little bit. I'm going to force it. I'll open back up. At some point, it's going to be rideable to where, like, the question is how much energy is it going to take for me to fix this? But I know I can fix this. Here's the one part I never liked because there's nothing you could do about it. Hey-ho operations at night on a line out, 3 seconds of pull, you got a half turn basically already packed in there.
Yeah.
And when everybody opens, if you open in front of someone,
It might turn you back at somebody.
that's right. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's not enough time to, it's kind of out of your, although it never happened. So it's a little bit of a.
That's all we did, by the way.
Yeah.
That's all we did, by the way. So like I'm used to ripping a canopy and steering away from another dude that's about to collide with me right on opening.
Right.
So yeah,
That's
it
the
sucks,
only
man.
one. As soon as I got rid of that, I was like, all right, whatever happens from here, I can handle.
You're good after that. You know what I mean? Like once your parachute opens and you haven't collided with another dude, everything's good after that.
Right.
Parachute's open, it's flying like it should be. You know, for the most part, like except for I've jumped with Marsoc before. Jumped out with them as the instructor. All the dudes, 15 dudes, go out the plane. I did a gainer, just having fun. Throw it out, boom. All of a sudden, my parachute's acting weird. My nods ripped off because they gave me night vision that wouldn't click into the mount good. So as soon as I deployed my parachute, my night vision came off and smacked me in my face.
That's right.
So here I am trying to click them back in while maintaining accountability of all my students in MARSOC. I'm like, all right, I got 15 jumpers up, calling it to the DZ. Still trying to click. But like you said, I can't be freaking out. I got students in the air. So I'm trying to put my night vision back on. I'm looking at them while trying to click them back in. Meanwhile, my parachute's in a malfunction, and I know it is because I can hear the sound of it. So I'm like, okay, got my night vision on. Now I'm like, okay, I got to fix my parachute. I have a whole side collapsed in, and my slider is way the heck up. Yeah, so yeah, man, it's frustrating, and a lot of people don't realize what all is comprised in a night free fall jump.
And at the end of the day, that's not the mission.
That's the infiltration only.
That's just the beginning of it.
This is getting to the target.
Yeah.
That's a mission in and of itself.
Oh,
just
it
getting
is.
to the target.
Yeah.
Via military freefall. You got to realize you're jumping out of a plane from could be 35,000 feet or below, and you're going out, you're opening your parachute at some altitude and flying it 40, 30, 40 kilometers across the ground, landing in a drop zone, securing your stuff completely undetected. And now you got to walk 40 miles and then the mission. And then the mission.
Speaking of jumping, here's something we didn't really dive into that I want to talk about. Your first deployment with Ranger Regiment was a combat jump, was it not?
Yeah, it was.
Mustard stain right off, no pun intended, right off the rip.
Yeah.
To say, go over here, jump, do a combat jump, do a couple, do some hits, and come home.
Yeah.
You guys, I know you did, but I got to ask anyway. You guys say the Ranger Creed in the aircraft before you jumped out?
I'm sure we did.
Sure
I can't remember, but I'm sure we did.
So those are some of the things that like just gives me goosebumps thinking about it. Just an airplane full of American whoop ass, all saying the Ranger Creed together before jump. I mean, gosh, I'm sure no one did. I hope someone recorded that. I mean, that's just awesome.
I'll tell you for a fact, we either said it before we loaded on the plane or before we jumped, one of the two. Because that's just the way the Ranger Regiment does it. But yeah, my first deployment ever, I jumped, so that was the coolest thing. I was in the military for all these years in the Ranger Regiment, and then I'm like, hey, I want to go to combat. I jump in, now I have a CIB.
That's right.
Because I got the CIB the easy way. Like later on, you could get it. It was a lot harder to get it than what I got it. But back when I was in, all you had to do is fly over a combat zone and you could get it.
Oh, really?
Remember that? Old rules back in the day from Vietnam, they were still in existence when we came in the military. All you had to do is fly over a combat zone to receive the CIB. But I actually jumped into it and actually did missions. So I had not only jump wings, but now I had that mustard stain, and then I had this cool CIB because I already had the expert infantryman's badge from all the testing, but now I had that wreath for the combat infantryman's badge.
When you guys first got the mission, did you believe it? Were you like, we'll believe it? There's a lot of naysayers like, we're gonna rig up. It ain't gonna happen.
Well, our initial mission was to jump into BIOP, Baghdad International. Yeah, we were in Saudi Arabia planning for that. And we were supposed to rig up. We had like 100-pound rucksacks. We were supposed to jump in. They were estimating 75% casualties just from the planes getting shot down going in. And we're like, hey, this is going to be like World War II all over again. You know what I mean? Like D-Day, that's what we thought.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we reconfigured this and we're not going to jump there. We're going to jump into other drop zones.
Okay.
So we ended up jumping out in the western desert. There was like 3 drop zones we jumped on, but my company specifically jumped on H1, which is out in the western desert.
Okay.
And we set the hub for you guys. You guys came in with like SAS. It was like you guys and SAS working out of where we jumped in and seized. Yeah, out west.
Do you remember what the elevation was that you guys jumped out at?
No, it was cold. I do know that in the springtime it was cold, but it could have been that dang
Night
high.
jump?
It was nighttime.
Really?
Yeah.
Low enough? Did you still have your reserve? They take your reserves.
Yeah,
away.
we had reserves, but here's the thing. I don't know the altitude.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows the official altitude. The lowest I ever jumped, for no joke, on record was 800 feet. But I heard that we jumped at 500 feet. And I'll tell you this. I came out the plane. I had mop level 4 on, but without the mask. So the mask was in a case, had the suit on, the whole J-list suit.
Yeah.
We jumped in, come out, and I'm like trying to put my feet and knees together, but my mask is between my legs. So I try to pull it out from between my legs so I can get my feet and knees together. I already hit the ground. That's how fast it was.
Yeah.
And I broke my tailbone on that jump and had to suck it up. I couldn't sit straight on my butt. I could only do right cheek or left cheek for the whole time I was deployed. Yeah,
At least it wasn't your taint.
yeah.
We have a lot of similarities. We've all have Now add that one to the list. We've had lower extremity injuries as well. Yeah, I'll tell you about the taint later.
It's not good. I tore my taint out at the free fall school landing a big sergeant major. Actually.
You did.
Yeah.
You also hurt your taint.
Oh, it's not good.
Welcome to the and
Just
now we're a club of 2. I love it. We talked on the recording how similar some of our career was.
Yeah.
And now we got that in common.
We got the broken taint. I'll tell you about that later.
All right. Back to the super chats.
That was on a tandem jump, by the way.
Back to the super taints.
Super taint.
All right, so getting back on track here with the super chats, we got Michael Hendricks 9229. Brock, did you teach the Pasadena police officers that trick they pulled, which was released on video this week?
Oh, dang it. I didn't. How did I not see that video? Does anyone know what video that is? Can you look up Magnet, if you don't mind, Pasadena police officer? You probably honestly have to do it. Something to pull up. All right. We'll get back to you, Mike.
All right. Solely with another one. It says, has going public had a bad impact for either of you?
That's a good question, actually. Mike, what do you got?
Nothing for me. I mean, you're going to have the naysayers. You know, there's always people that talk trash. Like, for example, the last podcast I went on, I don't even pay any attention to the comments or anything, but my wife does and certain people do. And they tell me, but I'm like, you know what? You're going to have naysayers. I was called in the last one, that Into the Breach. There's a lot of people referring to me as Tim Kennedy. They were like, yeah, and then he woke up. And I'm like, if you only knew me, man. You know, it's not, these stories are true.
Right. Oh, I feel a little responsible then for that. For you getting called Tim Kennedy.
He deserved it, though.
Right, yeah,
he deserved it, though.
So he accidentally shot his fellow officer.
Oh, no.
By horse playing.
What's that? By
By
horse
horse
playing?
playing.
Oh, my gosh.
Who did?
The
Pasadena
Pasadena?
police officer shot
Yeah.
by a fellow officer. But
You know, there's
incident.
fun and funny shenanigans, and there's just stupid shenanigans. It's a fine line. Although that's way on the other side of a fine line.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Don't do that.
California. It's
Yeah.
California.
The negative thing of going public, there are some guys that I deeply respected that I wish I could have always kept their respect, but they're just the ultimate quiet professional, and I know they're not happy that I'm public, and they believe Delta Force guys should stay quiet in the shadows, and that's the unspoken oath, you know, that we took. And I don't mind other people doing that. In fact, I think it's a good thing that most people should do that. It's just not I'm one of the oddities, just not the path I ended up choosing. It was never something I intended on doing. But long story. But people who followed me long enough know why I started podcasting, and now this is just the path I happen to be on. But I hate it that you're not going to please everyone. I get that.
Yeah.
But You just hate that there's some people that you really respect that deep down you kind of disappointed.
You like him. You love him.
I do.
But you're just
I
like,
do.
he doesn't like me.
Yeah.
I've actually had the opposite thing. I thought a lot of dudes in the unit hated me, in my old unit hated me because of speaking out. But I've been to some events recently, and the dudes are like, "Hey, man, you're doing a good job, man. You're making the boys look good." I'm like, "Thank God. I guess they do." And some of these were the guys that I thought would have hated me the most. Some of SAR majors, that came to me and told me good stuff, and I'm like, "Thank God, man. I appreciate it." Because I respect the crap out of these guys, man.
It's funny you say that. There's been some other guys that I thought for sure hated me, and because that have reached out to me, and be like, "Hey, love what you're doing. You represent us well. I'm not PNG'd from the unit. I've done it right." And those, but at the end of the day, it's like anything else. Like no one cares about any accolades or the right things you do. Your mind just focuses on the few people who don't like you or the negative. That's where your mind goes, and that's for me to deal with. But yeah,
It's true. And there's always, like I said, there's always going to be naysayers.
yeah. And I did get sued for $25 million. That wasn't that.
It happens.
That's a part of it.
That's a naysayer.
That's definitely a
But
naysayer.
that'll end up being a positive. Just let that one play out.
All right, another one from Soli here. It says, what happens in RRC selection and what causes people to fail?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. So when I went through, I will say at least during my selection, I think we had roughly 25 people, I'd say, start the selection. And most of these dudes were Rangers there was a handful of dudes from outside the regiment. Most of the guys made it, or like at least through the initial pieces, but it was the stress week, those long days of land navving over like mountains. And it's like day after day after day, there would be like less dudes and then less dudes. Like we'd come back to the barracks and there's less dudes and then less dudes. Yeah. And then we never, like as the students, we never got to see what happened to them. There would just be less dudes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like it's day for the board, right? And we go into the board. And for us, there was 8 dudes that went into the board. And of the 8 of us, only 4 got selected. So we had a 50% failure rate at the board. I'm talking 8 of these dudes physically finished the selection and only 4 got selected.
I love it and I hate it for 2 reasons. I hate it because at the end of the day, those dudes who didn't make it did everything
That I did.
physically that was asked of them.
Yeah,
you know what I
did.
mean? Like
They
they did physically what was asked of them, and they just weren't wired right. And that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. But the good thing about that is it's a unit that said, hey, there's more than just
Physical.
physicality to this job. You have to be wired right. And you have to have both. And we're going to maintain the standard. So so I get that.
Could they have done the same job though?
They could have possibly, but who knows? I'm not the deciding factor as to whether they would have been successful or not. They may have put a blemish on the unit, you know what I mean, that I couldn't foresee, but the selection process is made for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they're really good at it.
Yeah, they are really good
really
at it.
good.
Like in our
Proof is in the
selection,
pudding, right?
Our selection came from their selection. And their selection, I say, produces the most premium product there is on planet Earth. So that's why our unit replicated that same selection
We have
process.
a lot of guys that failed the physical part of it too.
Yeah.
And those guys passed the physical part but couldn't pass the mental part or whatever.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the respect act. There's a lot of respect, to do that. But the 2 thing is the respect that comes on. We're just going to do what they do, and also like a little bit of the humility to be like, we're not big enough to be like, oh, we know how to do better. We'll just why reinvent the wheel?
Do
like
what
if-
they're doing.
Just do what they're doing.
They got a good product.
Right. And and it's why we talk about it again on the recording. And I'm gonna drop that this Monday. And it's why RRD/RRC has such a good reputation in the community.
Yeah.
Because they went out and did the right thing. And they went like, hey, how do we do this the best way?
Well, you know what? One of the biggest compliments we used to get?
What's that?
We would be planning missions with like JSOC headquarters, and they'd be like, "Are you guys Delta Force dudes?" And we're like,
We'll take it.
well, we'll take it.
We could be.
I guess we could be, you know what I mean? But we're like, we're RRC guys. And they're like, oh, you guys are Rangers? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, okay, cool. And we were proud to be like, yeah, we're Rangers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we got accused of being you guys a lot.
That's
and we were
awesome.
like, yes.
That's awesome.
That's the accusation
That's right.
we want.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We're doing something
Yeah.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
What else we got?
All right, so we got one from Mr. Brad Freeman 7928. It says, "Always enjoy every guest reminding us that the USMC is the Dollar Tree of the U.S. military."
Well, Dollar Tree. I get it. I think it has to do with your comment that one battalion will shoot up the whole ammo budget of the.
I'll tell you
Marine
this:
Corps.
the Marines are disciplined, though, man.
I do.
I'll tell you, I worked
Yeah.
the MARSOC program. I helped create MARSOC's free fall program, and those dudes are like Rangers, man. They're that disciplined. And here's the thing: like if you asked me, if you said, who are you going to choose for whatever mission? It doesn't matter what the mission is, but I only have. I can choose anybody in the military, but I cannot choose Delta Force or Ranger Regiment. I'm going to choose MARSOC.
You know what I love about it? We talked about this earlier. At the end of the day, the Rangers are an infantry unit, but they're very specialized, and they have the because they're a smaller unit compared to infantry. They have the ability to be pickier. At a very large scale, a large conventional scale, the Marine Corps are just the best because they hold standards.
They do.
If you ask me, hey, do you want a division of infantry from the Army or from the Marine Corps to come back you up?
Yeah.
I'm taking the Marine Corps.
Me too. They're just
And I
more
hate
disciplined.
to say that to some degree because I come from the Army. But again, I'm not going to have blind allegiance to anyone.
Marine Corps is much, as a whole unit, Marine Corps is much more disciplined than the Army by far.
And guess what? Army, that's on you. You want to
Yeah.
you want that title?
Yeah.
Go
Stick
do what
with
it takes. Yeah.
Stick with it.
Yeah, go
or
do what
be
it
like the
takes.
Marines or be like the Ranger Regiment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, solely with another one, it says, "Could all RRC pass Delta selection and vice versa?"
I'm going to take this real quick if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I think so. I do.
Both ways?
Both ways, because they're so similar. I don't want to ruin it. But I had to ask. I was waiting to ask you that question. Like I don't think I've ever asked anyone that question about our selections and the similarities and so just know that that's in the recording. You know exactly what we're talking about when that comes up. I think hearing your board process. I mean, those numbers are very similar. So yeah, I think in a weird way it's I think they cross over nicely. Now here's the difference that I'll say. Does that mean everyone that gets selected, and from RRD is going to pass OTC? Well, no, because not everyone that gets selected at West Virginia passes OTC. Like that'll be like the next phase of it, and that's very different from walking around the woods to doing high level CQB, and so that's that.
Well, I'll say this. So the selections are very similar. So I'd say the same dudes will pass both.
Yeah.
But like he said, the OTC pipelines are different. RC selection for a different type of dude than a Delta Force dude, right? So there are dudes that could make it through both selections. Like I've had dudes that were in RC with me that made it through Delta Force selection, went all the way through the OTC pipeline. And in the end, they got kicked out because they weren't what Delta Force was looking for, but they were what RRC was looking for.
That's right. Two different
Because
jobs.
It's different jobs, right? Even though the dude was physically capable of both jobs, he was mentally more suited for one job.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Of course. And it doesn't even mean he was, and I hate
doesn't
this
mean he's
too.
bad.
And that's well, he must not have been good at CQB because he didn't make it to that. That doesn't mean you're bad at CQB. Like, so you weren't the best in the world at CQB. You know, like that's
the best in the world.
Right. That's crazy. I mean, you could still be really good. I mean, he made it all the way. I can already tell you, if he made it all the way to the end, they were interested in that guy. They were interested.
Well, there's a guy, and I'll say his name, Dan McNeil. He's a guy who went through OTC with me. This dude went through selection and OTC all the way at you guys' place. Went all the way to the end of OTC, got in a tiff with one of the cadre. I'll tell you, that guy's one of the baddest shooters I've ever seen in my entire life. He went through OTC with me after having come out of Delta Force OTC.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, he kept me on my P's and Q's.
Nice.
Because
Yeah.
we shot with Jerry Barnhart. You know, Jerry Barnhart gives you a hat, right?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I won half the hats. He won the other half. And I'm like, dang. Like, and like none of the other dudes, I don't even think even got a hat the whole time.
Yeah.
But like that dude was a beast. He beat me more than I beat him. And he was same in the pipeline as me, but he had been through Delta Force selection in OTC.
Yeah, that's cool. That's another good question, man.
Yeah.
You guys are on it tonight.
All right. Next one is going to be from North, South, East, West 2. It says, mood tonight is on point. Go Nashville.
It is on point. It's a lively night. I like it.
All right. And then after that, we got David Hooksteed. It says, Mike, great to see you on the show. Why do you two think the media in Hollywood push false/exaggerated war stories with seemingly zero vetting? Would like to hear an outside perspective, have my own from the inside.
What's up, David? Good to see you. Congrats on getting married, by the way. And
Love that guy.
Yeah, I love that dude too. Yeah, man. Like a lot of these war stories, I wouldn't say are necessarily fake. At least the movies that I've seen, they just maybe be spun in a way that doesn't align with a proper narrative. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Of course, there's a narrative in Hollywood. I'm so sick and tired of seeing it, especially when the come on in.
There he goes.
The I didn't know I was going to be put right to work. And I hate it, especially when the what's the word I'm looking for? When the road to success or like what they're looking for is actually easy. And this is what I'm talking about.
I know.
300. No, you can go ahead. It's all right. Yeah. It's no big deal. And you guys can take those chairs. You guys take those chairs right there. The roadmap is super easy, and it's oddly enough like conservative to some degree. Take the original movie 300. It was just a bunch of warriors against good guys versus bad guys. Nothing about global warming. No narratives were like, hey, these are jack dudes that train for war, and they're going to kill these other guys who just aren't as disciplined and trained in it. And it was a great movie.
Yeah.
You take Yellowstone, for example. Just traditional cowboy American values. And really not a whole lot was inserted in that. Just good guys versus bad guys. Cowboys win. And they did that to a degree with the Avengers, but they could never help themselves. The sequel to 300, they screwed it up.
Oh yeah.
The more the Avengers went down, they screwed it up. They just can't help themselves, and I'll never understand that. So yes, Hollywood has a narrative, and even when they slightly get it right, they will come back later and make sure they screw it up.
Yeah. They for sure will.
They can't help themselves.
And that's the thing, like the stuff that you guys see in movies that you see, like if you see like movies, James Bond, whatever it is, that stuff's been done in real life. It actually, it really has by guys from his unit, guys from my unit, guys from other units, guys from the agency somewhere. That stuff has been actually done. So the movies kind of mess it up a little bit. They leave out a lot of the rough stuff. Like, I don't know, I was talking to somebody the other day. Reconnaissance isn't the most glamorous thing. Like when you're
slow
walking,
burn.
yeah, you got to suck it up out there in the woods. Like for example, I've been drinking rain runoff from an airfield before because I ran out of water. You know, I mean, I'm drinking this stuff that probably has like diesel fuel mixed in it. You know, off an airfield before. But the setup for these missions is not that glamorous. So you don't hear about that in the movies. That's the stuff that we talk about on these podcasts.
Yeah. And when it comes to that, I'm not mad at Hollywood because they have to entertain people.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like exaggerations, the real story, everyone loves to hear the word recon, things like that. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
Because the movies made it cool because they could never, that 2-hour movie would be me and you sitting there trading off on a scope,
Pooping in a bag.
writing things down, and be like, I need, my eye hurts from looking in this spotting scope. You want to take over for a little bit? Yeah, I'll take over for a little
Mind
bit.
you, we're pooping in plastic bags and burying it in the hole that we live in.
And that'd be the whole 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Because we were there for days. So you have to exaggerate it. And
You do.
This is, in fact, you talk about that, about Recce just not being glamorous. Nothing's worse than when you're in a Recce element and you're out there for days, but you're doing what's required for the guys to come in to be successful. And then those guys come in and they hit a target in 15, 20 minutes. They get back on a helicopter, high-fiving, and
Act like you never existed.
didn't miss a meal, didn't miss a workout, and you get no respect, of sorts. And you were out there for days making it happen. But are you the rock star? No.
That's my life, just so you guys know. That's my life. That's
It's
what we
not
did.
sexy.
It's not glamorous. You do all the preparatory work for none of the kudos.
Right. And even in real life, you might be able to get a shot because at that point there's a window that you can take a shot.
Only in certain rare opportunities.
But if they
even
don't
then.
present themselves,
Yeah.
you don't get to take a shot.
Yeah,
Like
no.
it's not a lot of sniper work. It's a lot of reporting,
Like observation.
observation,
More observation than
and nerd
tactical.
work and radio work and satellite communications and compressing pictures to get them back there. It's
And that's
It's not-
why, like, for us in the RRD, back in the old school RRD days, those guys actually got to do some cool stuff because they're rangers, right? They're killers right off the bat, but they're trained on how to be stealthy. So JSOC used them a lot in the beginning of the GWAT as hunter-killer teams, like what you guys did with your Indige, right? But these are American hunter-killer teams that are trained to hunt and kill hunter-killer teams from other agencies, right? So like you would send the Chechens or these different foreign troops in that were trained by Russia into Afghanistan to mess with our conventional troops, and the Ranger Regiment would send RRC to hunt down and kill these dudes. And so, and that's what, and because of their stealthiness and because of their ability to have tradecraft and be sneaky, these were the perfect dudes to go in. And because they're also killers as well, they could sneak in, set an ambush, and kill massive forces. And these dudes, like you talked about, one of your buddies, I won't say his name, but you went through OTC with him, that came from there. And yeah, those dudes whacked a ton of dudes, man, because they would get on the high ground, they would set in on these dudes and drop bombs on them. It's not that they were necessarily killing them hand to hand. They're dropping bombs on them. They're using Air Force JTACs as, force multipliers to drop casts on these guys. And then, they were shooting them direct action as well. But
I almost hate to put it like this, but I hope I can convey this right. I said a lot of people know who RRD is or RRC, but they don't really know who they are. They don't really know what they do. And let's be honest. The reason they don't is because you guys did it right. If you guys would have gone out and got everyone killed but one and had like a lone survivor situation, everyone would have known who you were. But because you did it right, no one knows who you are. And that's that's in a weird way. It could have sounded one way. That's not a slight at a different unit. But that's the reality,
Sure,
and let's not ignore, like, that's unfortunately not the reason that you hear of some units and you don't hear of others.
Well, and that's true. And that's because those certain units weren't trained for reconnaissance, even though like they believe that that's their mission set, right?
Right.
They weren't trained for reconnaissance, and they weren't
the truth.
set for success for that mission.
Right.
It's not because those dudes were bad human beings. They just
Right.
weren't set up for success for that mission.
There you go.
Their unit said, "Hey, you're trained for this," even though they weren't, and they threw them out there. Whereas we are trained for that.
You're SDV, so you're sneaky in the water, but that doesn't mean you're sneaky
land.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Land is different than the water.
What else we got? Back to the super chats, Cam.
All right, a little bit of a broad question here from Sully. It says, what would you guys change about the U.S. military?
Well,
Broad,
we
but a
talked
good-
about
but a
one
good
of those
question.
today, but I won't say that one. But we did talk about that out there on the porch.
Yeah. It's broad. What would you change about the U.S. military?
I would specialize more on making sure that their training is more robust, right? I would make conventional forces like soft units. I would give them the same resources. I mean, if your body is going to be on the line, you deserve the same resources as a soft soldier. That's just the way I see it. Now, the soft guys are going to get more training and stuff like that. There's going to be specialized units, but they should deserve to receive the same equipment, I should say. What do you think?
Oh man, this is of all the things you could change. I'm just saying the first thing that came to my mind. It's a weird one, but I can't sit here and think about it forever. We got a show to do. I would go back to the old school PT standards
For sure.
because there was nothing wrong with those. I would do away with male and female standards. We're soldiers. There's just one standard. You can either make it or you can't. And we've complicated things.
I agree 100%.
Unnecessarily. So
Yeah, I agree 100%. I void what I said and listen to what he said.
and in a weird way, even though it's a real kind of simple change, that would solve that'd solve a lot of the the domino effect of that would solve a lot of our
Yeah,
problems.
you're right. Void what I said and listen to what he said.
What else we got?
On to the next one. North, South, East, West 2 says Max not here again.
No, Max is a menace, and he's not here this week either.
All right. Another one from Sully. It says, who were the best military leaders in GWOT?
That's hard to say, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'd say
He's
I'd say JSOC.
Who are the best?
I'll just throw JSOC out there. You know what I mean? Because we had dudes from your unit, we had dudes from my unit there.
Yeah,
and
they really were.
those dudes were doing the right thing, man.
Generally speaking, they were.
For the most part, they were doing the
At a
right
high
thing.
percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we had some great freaking guys. General Carilla, remember that guy?
Yeah.
Like I
Remember
love
being
that
on
guy.
VTCs with
Carilla
him?
the Gorilla.
Gorilla the Gorilla. Yeah.
He was a good dude, man. He was a Ranger Regiment colonel, but you guys had some good commanders over there too. I mean, SEAL Team 6 had some good commanders that ran the task force too.
They did.
Like Colonel Moore back in the day, or Captain Moore, I think that's what they called him back in the day. But yeah, I mean, we had good command. You know, I mean, they were very well vetted.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that.
All right. Another one from Slowly. It says, would you meet with the enemy you fought, or do you hate them too much? Jason Fox, SBS, met with a former Taliban commander.
I have since met with these guys.
Have you really?
Yeah,
How?
some of them. Dude, like Afghanistan stuff, like the rescue stuff. I've had meetings with these guys.
That's right.
Yeah, and dude, honestly, man, to be honest with you, some of the Taliban guys aren't that bad. To be honest, they're just money men. They're just in it for the business.
Yeah.
If they can make money, they're loyal to whoever pays them. So that's like with you guys with your friends with the Sentinel Foundation.
Yeah.
That's one of the guys I worked with, and we found out that hey, these guys are loyal to the guys that pay them, and I'm saying very loyal.
Yeah.
So if you're paying their bills, they're very loyal to you, no matter who you are.
Yeah, as again, just it's the only way I know how to answer this question. The Bible talks a lot about forgiveness, and like you're my enemy while you're my enemy.
Yeah.
But the war's over, and so I'm not carrying that. I'm not carrying that over. I would absolutely meet with them. I think that'd be interesting. Time to take the Tier 1 podcast on a trip.
I'll go with you.
We're going to Afghanistan.
Let's do it. Hey, you and I, we'll go to Afghanistan. We can meet with Taliban leaders, and I promise you it'll be good.
Yeah,
I promise you.
And I'm gonna take them back to where I got shot.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna be funny? I'm gonna look at that place and be like, this is not how I remember it.
I know, dude.
I still have my Garmin 4 tracks with the GPS coordinates of where I was that night.
Dude, man.
Yeah, it's in my room. Yeah.
But those guys, man, they're just looking for. They're just like us, man. They're trying to strive it out in this world, and don't get me wrong. Some of them are very wicked and evil, and they came against us, and we fought and killed those dudes.
Yeah.
But there are some of them that are just trying to eke it out in this world, just like us.
I always thought, like on a human level, like if, especially the guys in this room that fought for America, if we were born in Afghanistan, would we be fighting America?
Of course, I would
with the same type of ethos that we were born with, and yeah, the answer would be yes.
Think about it.
Like how could you carry that hate over? That's probably what I'd be doing too.
Yeah, think about it. Like if somebody just rolled up to my house where I live out in the middle of the country, started like tossing frags at my house, I'm gonna be pissed.
Right.
And I'm coming out with ARs and I'm about to shoot your butt up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Swing the mic over there. What you can weigh in on this conversation? How does that rub you?
Okay,
And you can have a
you're
difference
talking
of
about,
opinion.
Like, the Taliban,
I don't want group think. Like
Yeah,
whatever
no,
you think. I want to hear your
with you.
opinion.
Like, but I'll say this: like Hamas, like Palestinians, I wish the Israelis killed every living thing.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was a plant or a
Yeah.
bug. Everything. Those people are inhuman, and I spent a lot of time in Gaza and lost half my team there for absolutely nothing. So, but.
Yeah,
As your guys' point, as far as the Taliban in Afghanistan, some of the greatest people I met, they give
They're
their shirt.
different.
Yeah, it's significantly different.
that's a good spin on that, because would I do the same thing to ISIS in Syria? No, I wouldn't.
Good point.
There's no reason to forgive pure evil.
Yeah, that's a good.
Like
point.
if they wanted forgiveness, I'd forgive them.
Yeah.
But
if they truly repent,
right, I'd,
You know what I mean?
I'd have to.
you have to.
I'm not going to.
Well,
'cause
these are
pure
people.
evil.
They ain't truly repenting.
I mean, this is people we've been giving them money for years. I mean, that one move that day happened to be for the Fulbright scholarship of all
of them.
things, right?
Yeah,
We've been funding all of them for decades.
yeah,
So,
sure.
that's my take on it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
Afghanistan, much different.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'll give you that. All right, what else we got?
All right, from Mr. T Chambers 807, it says, did Mike's perspective change on how the U.S. handles partner forces after Afghan fell? Is there a better way to handle those relationships after the operational wind shift on either mill or intel side?
For sure. I dealt with that heavily because I created a group to rescue the Afghans out of there. And our government, and as I'm sure Brent would attest to, like told us, like, hey, these guys are your guys. We're going to always support them. We're always going to take care of these dudes. We rolled out of there and we straight left these dudes flapping, man. And here's the thing. My ARU dudes, the guys I trained in RRC when I was working over there, those are the dudes that helped us rescue the Americans. Dude, these dudes were surveying LZs for me. They were freaking running routes. They were proofing routes. They were making sure stuff's clean so I could pull Americans out. They worked until the last day. And then when we pulled the Americans out, our government said, piss on y'all. We're leaving y'all there. So, yeah, dude, these guys were legit dudes. They were very loyal to us. The ones that we had now. Like,
Right.
and I'm not saying, you cannot say this with all of them. Because you guys that have served over there, you cannot trust all these Afghans. But the ones that we had were very thoroughly vetted. They had polygraphs. They had all that stuff.
That they did.
And these dudes were solid dudes. And they worked for me. They worked for the agency to rescue American people. And then once we got them out, our government left them to hang.
And they put it on the line because they trusted us.
Yeah, they did. They trusted us, man.
Yeah.
They trusted us, dude.
Why would anyone trust us again? We did it to the Kurds.
Yeah.
We did it to good Afghans. Like we got to figure out what as a government we have to figure out what right looks like and be better. And I'm not saying that's an easy answer.
It's
but
not.
let me tell you, it's like we haven't even been trying here.
Yeah, we haven't even tried,
At least
bro.
try. All right, what else we got? Let's see if we can get through all of these super chats.
All right. Girl Dad 13 says, what's up, boys? We know what Brent's favorite Kid Up song was. Mike, did you have a favorite song before going out on a mission? We used It's Time for War by LL Cool J. Don't know why, but it worked.
I love it. All right.
Oh, dude,
Good-
we had
another
so
good
many,
question.
man. We had so many.
Can you pick a favorite? If you have to top three,
We listened to some stuff that y'all would be ashamed of. To be honest
I'm
with
not
you.
surprised about that. You know,
Oh my gosh.
I've been
I'm
in some
trying to
team
think-
rooms that
Like,
weren't
do you
as-
remember that group called Flyleaf?
Yes.
Yes.
We used to
Female rocks singer lead.
We
Yes.
used to jam out to some Flyleaf before we go out
That's
on
not
missions.
bad. I give you that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's not bad. Okay. There you go. What do you got? What do you got?
So we did early on. Samaritan's Purse has Operation Heal Our Patriots. It's a trip for your wife. It's literally
Up to Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So part of that is that some of the people that are there are tithing by being there to serve you. And that little girl, and she is little. I mean, I want to say she's like 4'11", tatted up both sides. I'm like, man, where do I recognize? She's serving us breakfast in the morning, right? And I'm like, who is this chick? And it ended up being the lead singer of Flyleaf.
Oh, nice.
So I've got a cool recording of her just singing with her little kid, singing that I forget what that famous song that they
I'm
sang,
so
but-
sick.
Yeah,
that
it's
was one of their real big songs.
And one of my Ranger buddies, actually, Ed Graham, his dad is Franklin Graham, who runs Samaritan Purse. So I got dealt with him with some of the Afghan stuff as well.
Nice. All right, keep it
Talk
going.
more about that
All right,
afterwards.
another one from Mr. Sully. It says,
I can't believe it's taken this long for a Nick Irving question to come up.
Oh, really?
All right, what do we got?
That guy.
it says Nick Irving said Ranger NCOs beat him when he argued with a NCO the day before. Is this normal in Ranger Regiment? And is it right?
Ranger NCOs beat him when he argued with an NCO.
So I would say they probably didn't physically beat him, but they probably beat the piss out of him physically in another way.
Right.
By
They smoked him.
like what I talked
smoked
about.
him.
Where I got smoked beyond belief.
Right.
And you have to take for a grain of salt what these guys say that were in the regiment for 4 years, right? 4 to 6 years. They have a taste of it. Don't get me wrong; these guys are legitimate Rangers. They're legitimate special ops guys, but their perspective on that unit is very limited, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, what's we
right.
got?
as well as the era
F
they
luck-
were in.
That's right.
Lucky 7. Next question. It says Sigurd Glock. There is a wrong answer. Much love, fellas. God bless.
I got this quick. It's a Glock for sure.
All right, we're moving
it's
on.
for sure a Glock.
Everyone's still getting along in this room. All right. Thank you, Flucky.
So solely with another one. Worst and best time in war you both had.
Oh man,
You go first.
the one is just more holistic. The best time I've had in war is when you're on a really good team with your best friends. It's just the best time in war
Ever.
And one of those is with an ODA that I had. That was just the best group of guys I could ever ask to be with. That was one of my
Ever.
top
Was
three
that ever?
ever.
Okay, nice.
Good
to hear.
I still keep in contact with those guys. They're just super dudes.
Even once you got to the unit, that was your best team.
that
I'm just asking to clarify.
not. I hate to say. I want to say it in a weird way, like not performance.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But
There's
as
a difference.
as a group of guys that gelled and
Just
would
chill.
would just do anything for each other.
Yeah.
The problem with a high performing unit is sometimes you have a
you
bunch
do
of
it just to do it sometimes.
yeah you have
know
a
what
bunch
I
of
mean?
singletons that are kind of on a team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know
it's-
what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you
it's
mean.
Not that's a little bit dramatic to
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it that way, but it feels that way at times because everyone's just in competition
Yeah,
with,
dude,
with
it's
each other.
a high level of competition.
So my dive
too.
team was just was just a special group of guys.
What team was that? What group? What
20th
company?
group.
20th group.
20th
What
group.
was
I'll
the
tell you.
team number? You don't mind?
No, mine not. 2075 is what they started out as, and they became 2315
I'll
during the
say-
ODA number change.
For the guys out there, 20th Special Forces Group. It's a National Guard group. It's absolutely
I'd put 'em up
hands
against
down
anyone.
most professional guys. Some of the most professional guys I've ever worked with. To be honest with you.
Worst time in war, probably the night we lost John Dunbar, and our SAS counterpart Matt Tunrow. That's probably the worst night.
And that was with 20th group? Or
No, I was at the unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to lose an SAS guy and your teammate on the same night was just.
Dang,
and
that's
I was,
a lot,
I was a
dude.
roommate
Where
for
was
a
that
while
at?
in Syria.
Oh, okay.
I was a roommate with Matt. Me and Matt got along really good.
That's
so
a
that
hit, man. When you're close to somebody
Yeah.
like that.
He was a warrior. We just got along, like old friends.
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, that one. What do you got?
Yeah. So what is it? Worse in both time? Yeah. Same thing for me, man. The worst time was, I thought I was going to lose one of my guys when I got the Silver Star. One of the dudes got messed up bad enough. I thought one of my guys was going to die. So I was hanging out in the hospital. When I found out that he was good to go, I was happy. But the best times, you're right. And I, like, as a Ranger, more of my good times were working not with the Ranger Regiment, believe it or not. And even though I talk a lot of trash about SEAL Team 6, you know what I mean? Talk a lot of trash about SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
But some of the best times I ever had was working with SEAL Team 6, to be honest with you.
love that,
Doing the Omega stuff at a Red Squadron guys at Omega 50 when I worked with those guys, and those guys know who they are. Those guys were professionals, man. And we drank beer. We had lots of fun, and we did legit work.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Love that. Love that. What else you got?
All right, on to the next one. It's TG Para 2786. It says, About Face is the best military memoir. Would make a great series. Also, when was the last time you jumped at Paraclete? I started my AFF in July 2020.
That one's for you. When was the last time you jumped at Paraclete?
I've only jumped at Paraclete like maybe once or twice. Most of my jumps are outside of that. I think that's more for you because it's a brag guy.
Yeah, I don't. There was a Paraclete. Is that? They also had the wind tunnel.
Yeah, the wind tunnel is called Paraclete.
Yeah, I mean we had a lot of time in the wind tunnel, but we didn't use their drop zone.
Yeah, I never did either.
Yeah.
I flew in their wind tunnel a couple times, but I never used their drop zone.
Yeah. Actually, never used their drop zone, but yeah, had a ton of tunnel time in there.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Holy Fook one.
Holy Fook.
Mike, Bigfoot or UFOs? Any stories on either?
I've never had any experiences with UFOs that I know of.
All right, I love that I know of. Okay,
that I know of, but I will say, and I can't say anything about definitively on Bigfoot, but I do know I was hunting one time on Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay,
and I'm a big hunter, right? I used to be back until I started hunting human beings, and then hunting animals got boring.
Right. Yeah.
But
Was that those big girls down there?
No, so I'm in the woods in the middle of nowhere on Fort Benning hunting, and I hear this, and like it's dark, bro. Like it's like I'm like, can I shoot a deer straight below my tree stand?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's still enough light. You know, so I'm like one of those things. Like I used to hunt so much, so I'm like, I'm gonna stay here until there's absolutely certainty that I can't kill a deer, and then I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
So I'm at that point in the woods, and all of a sudden I hear this thing. Like on 2 feet running by me in the woods. I'm like, what the heck is this thing, man? It scared the crap out of me so much. I was in a climbing tree stand that I stayed there for like an hour after it passed to make sure it was done. And then I free-falled that thing all the way down the bottom and left it and went and took off. And then later on, I heard of some of my RRC buddies who were in Washington State up in Spokane area. They were doing a tactical recce up there. And they were driving in an SUV down a gravel road, nodded out, like with, ATAC up, you know what I mean? Like on the computer, like back when it was Falcon View. Back in the day. Right. Remember Falcon View?
I do remember Falcon View.
So they had Falcon View up
I was
on
an
the
18
computer.
Echo. I had to know Falcon View.
They had Falcon View, which was like, for you guys on TV, it's like Google GPS, but back before that existed, right? We had it in the military, but it was on a computer.
Yeah.
And so we're on Falcon
Tough
View.
book, if you will.
A tough book. Yes, CF-18 tough book. Panasonic tough book. So they're like watching this thing, like navving, and they're rolling. They said the moon was out super bright, and all the windows are rolled down, and they're creeping because they're in the national forest in Washington, and they have special access there to where they can go and pick the locks and go in and lock it behind them, but they're allowed to be in there, right? Okay. So dudes have picked the locks. They've infiltrated this forest. They're deep into the forest, and the driver slams on the brakes. This is one of my teammates. I wasn't there with this event. He told me about it later. Slams on the brakes, and everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? And they look up, and they're like, there's this thing standing in the middle of the road in broad, like moonlight with night vision, which, you know, it's like daylight with night vision on. They're like, this is monstrous thing standing there. And then it just takes off, and it bolts into the woods. And my buddy told me, he said, it's like it took the forest with it, man. It was like trees were snapping off at the base. Snap, snap, snap. And this thing takes off. And all these dudes recognize this, and they're like, what the heck was that thing? And then they just continued the mission. So I don't know what that was, but it was something very weird. And I've experienced something similar to that myself. I don't know what it was.
All right. I don't know what that was there in Spokane, but I'm pretty sure I know what it was in Georgia with you.
What was it?
That was a lost lieutenant from the Ranger School Compass course.
Could have been.
That's what that was.
Totally could have been.
That's my best guess. But I don't think I'm too far off.
Totally could
All right,
have
what else
been.
we got?
All right, solely with another one. It says, how often does RRC work with other units, and is there friction? How is that dealt with, if so?
Talked about that on the recording and kind of in depth, but covered this.
We deal with a lot of guys, and honestly, there's not a lot of friction, to be honest. We dealt really well with most guys. I mean, honestly, there was a little bit of friction with SEAL Team 6 in occasions, but for the most part, working with his unit and working with the Ranger Regiment and other elements, it was smooth.
Oddly enough, when you're the guest, you usually get treated kind of better. Like the passing through, or you're a guest at other units. Most units treat people very well.
True.
So I think kind of works out in your favor for the most part.
Yeah, because we're always guests, man. And like honestly, my experience was we were very well taken care of for the most part.
Love to hear that. What else we got?
All right, our winner. He asked a question
Oh, there he
saying,
is.
would you rather was
You better donate a lot more than that.
He said, would you rather was the best game sitting on an OP in Afghanistan?
Would you rather was the best game seen? Oh, yeah. I never did the would you rather game sitting on an OP.
Yeah, me either. Like, I don't even know what that is. What even is that?
It's kind of more or less like you give someone two different options, and more or less they're usually both bad options, and you have to pick which one you'd rather.
Never even heard of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what we just talked about random things. We didn't talk about like something in particular.
No, we were talking about chicks and talking about like going out partying, like having fun. Like we're gonna hang out with chicks when we get back.
Yeah.
And like it was all like dude stuff.
You know what's worse is I've had people in this podcast. Xavier's one of them. I've spent a good amount of time with Xavier, and he was a guest on my podcast when I really learned his whole military story. We don't even talk about relevant things as guys. We just talk about random stuff.
Talk about trash, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. Well, once you come to the realization that you and I have come to, like it's all trash.
It is. All right, let's mow through it.
All right, another one from Sully says, on average, how long do people serve in Rangers /RRC and Green Berets and Delta? Why do people leave when they do?
I'll say at least in the Ranger Regiment, there's dudes that do the entire career there. And then in RRC, like there were dudes that were there that when I got there that had been there for 14, 15 years. So they had done pretty much their entire careers there. And I'm sure it's the same way with Green Berets and of course with Delta Force.
Yeah, when you're in a good unit and you've worked that hard like that, you don't leave it.
Yeah, you don't want to leave.
Why would you ever want to leave it? So there's only two reasons: you leave to retire or you get fired. And getting fired isn't that common, but it happens. Most people just leave because they stayed there as long as they possibly could, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
What else?
All right, Holy Fook, another one says, Mike, what was your call sign name? Did you have any nicknames? We know Brent's Green Berets name, but he won't release his Delta name yet.
Yeah, we had names, and ours were, I'm not going to talk about those things because those are things are classified, but we did have call signs, and they stood for a certain thing. But yeah, I'll just keep that secret for now.
Well, fair enough. Keep it going.
Just incredible. Just finished a glass of Glenfiddich and an FRCC cigar, trying to stay awake long enough for the giveaway.
Oh, well, you got it. And we gave it away to just another
Infantryman.
11B.
11 Bravo, yeah.
Yep, he got it.
All right. Now, Bacon Forged has one. It says, a Green Gray grabbed his mic at 8. The Thursday live stream actually on straight. The super chats flowed while the Patreon growed. We're live, and for once, they weren't late.
Oh my gosh!
Nicely
What
done,
a riddle!
sir. Nicely done,
nice
sir.
rhyme.
How long did it take him to think that up? And I love it. Look how classy. Look how classy our community is.
Nice little rhyme there.
Yeah.
That was good.
Now, another one from Sully. It says, are you guys more or less happy after leaving the Army?
I'm more happy, by far more happy. I take all the experiences that I got in the military and I use those to apply them to my future life. But I'm much more happy now. I get to spend more time with my family. I get to spend more time with God, like Brent and I talked about. But yeah, that's the key.
The key to happiness isn't the military.
It's
The
not.
key to happiness is in that book right there in the corner of my desk.
100%. I concur.
All right, so this goes back from our winner once again. He actually gave you guys a would you rather, so you get a little taste
Okay,
of it. So,
all right.
would you rather do the long walk carrying a ruck full of Robbo's piss bottles or Tim K's inflated stories?
I'll take Tim K's inflated stories because they're a lot lighter. It's just air. It's just hot air.
It's just hot air. Okay. But there's not a ruck big enough to hold them. So we're in a quandary here.
That is a true
We're in a
statement.
quandary here.
That is a true
But
statement.
I'll give you that. That's right. That's what we'll do. You're gonna.
All right, next one, Quad A N9P1Z. Do you think Ukrainian soldiers know how to fight trench warfare better than Rangers?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know. I haven't been there.
I'm gonna go yes because they've been doing it.
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
what
I haven't been there.
Like, like we talked about at the beginning of GWAT. We weren't ready for it.
No.
we
Until we
sucked
did it.
Until we did it. So yeah, but I'll tell you this: if Rangers have been doing trench warfare as long as the Ukrainians have been doing it,
They would be the best.
they'd be the best.
They
at it.
would be the best.
I
That's
believe-
the
I believe
truth.
that.
I will say that all day long. You give Rangers a task and you tell them to be the best, they will be
figure
the
it out.
best at it.
Yeah.
They will be the best at it. Promise you. That's the why, if you look at it, what's the best sniper competition? Who wins it? Rangers. Who wins the best Ranger? Rangers. Who wins the best medic? Rangers. It's just the way it is, you know?
All right, on to the next one. Sonny Marbury says, "Sup fam, I'm late to the party.
Sonny.
Everyone already let me know how late I am. So yeah, anyways, I'll be listening in. I'm building a wall for my mother-in-law. Some do good. Love y'all guys like family."
Oh, good to see you, Sonny. Better late than never. We'll take it.
All right, right wing gun nut 1 says, "Mike, thoughts on women in the Rangers and why is it wrong? Great to see you on here, brother."
All right.
I think it's completely wrong because honestly, I don't think God created women to be warriors, for one. But not only that, it builds a dynamic within a team that's just not conducive to productivity. Like, I mean, and I know Brent's seen it before too. Like, we had the CST chicks that back before women were ever authorized in any of this stuff, we had the CST women that Delta Force and Rangers trained to work with us, and they were absolutely stellar. Don't get me wrong; these were women that were officers; they were superstars. But at times we had issues because when you throw a woman in the mix of a bunch of hardcore warriors, things are going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just the way it's going to be.
Right. Let's live in reality here for a second. There's a way things maybe should be. There's a way things are.
Yeah.
So, but I've always said it this way. The quickest way I can say this. The Olympics is the most sexist organization in the world because they're like, there's no way women will ever be as strong as men. So we're going to give them their own class so they can win gold medals. So if gold medals are that important to separate men and women, how much more important is
life or
combat?
death.
Yeah, it's just the best. Prove me wrong. No one can do it.
Nailed it.
All right, Jillian Sheffield, 1084. It's my 30th birthday today. Spending it with the boys. Vince, Baltimore, Leo.
Happy
Nice.
30th birthday.
Happy 30th.
All right. And then Soli says, "I've heard of cash bribes being given to Taliban to get them to stop attacking, e.g. Siege of Musa Kale, UK. Have you heard of this and is it wrong?"
Oh, I've heard of it a ton.
I have heard of it.
It has happened a ton. Back in the day, it was actually common that an average shipment in the United States, or like a U.S. military shipment going across Afghanistan, would incur roughly $10,000 in bribes per day just to be able to make it to its destination. So
Now I'll say this. Oh, what
yeah,
happened?
It fell down.
How long ago?
Like just now. It
Okay.
just happened.
I have heard of foreign militaries bribing the Taliban not to attack them, but I've never heard of an American unit doing that.
Well, the U.S., we actually paid them to do it on a large scale. Yeah.
Keep going. This is gonna bug me.
All right. Holy Fook with another one. It says, "Mike, any RRC guys receive a Medal of Honor? Have you seen or been in an engagement where one was deserved but not given?"
In RRC, it's kind of challenging. Me personally, my Silver Star was recommended for the upgrade to Medal of Honor twice, for two different people from two different organizations. So that would be me specifically, but honestly, there's a lot of dudes in RRC that did things that were of highest caliber of valor that was probably never honestly documented because of the fact that where they were. Like, for example, when I went to RRC, all my medals and all my awards and all my deployment, all that stuff stopped basically because nobody cared anymore. It was just me, So I was out there doing my thing. There were other officers that put me in for awards, but no one ever tracked them. No one ever made sure that they made it to where they were supposed to go, even though I was told that would get them. So that's the way it is. I mean, a lot of the most elite units are probably going to have the least awards when you really get down to it.
I agree. Yeah. Let's get through this with a speed round.
All right. Holy Fook.
Quick answers, and let's go.
Mike, at night, do you sit or stand to pee? Brent will explain.
Good question. No explanation. No explanation needed. He gets it.
All right. Solely with another one. Matt Cole said SEAL Team 6 killed POWs in rigged hand-to-hand fights. They were terrorists. Did they deserve it, or should those SEAL Team 6 be in prison?
I don't even know what that's talking about specifically, to be honest.
I didn't know. I've read most of that. I didn't know they killed POWs in rigged hand-to-hand fights. So
yeah, I don't know about that either.
I'm not saying that's not what Matt Cole said. I'm just saying I don't remember Matt Cole. I don't remember that Mike Cole saying that. So I can't weigh in.
I'm not sure about that either.
Okay. TBD Seer, what's the choice for absolute silence? Suppress low vis rig 9mm or 300 blackout. Something else? What are you choosing, Mike and Brent? Smells like Teen Spirit Nirvana.
All right.
So me personally, if I'm gonna shoot somebody, if you gave me the choice between 9mm and 300 blackout, I'm gonna shoot them with a 300 blackout because it's a bigger bullet. It's gonna hit harder. It's coming from a rifle. But honestly, it's not my preferred round, even in that in that platform. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna shoot somebody with that over the 9mm. But hey, I think 9mm works too.
Yep. Mike's right on all accounts.
All right. Yeah. Human Performance TRT. Use the app to track the 30-day challenge, Bert.
I will, Phil. I will.
All right. Dwazi 019. Does Delta actually train in cities at night in the U.S. with little birds?
Yeah, they do.
I always see the videos online. Any piss bottle stories, Mike?
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, they do.
You've seen the videos online.
And we do too.
And it's stupid. And I tell you what it's not to do. It's not to train to take over U.S. cities. I hate it.
No, it's training for overseas targets. Yeah, and that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. We have to train somewhere.
Right.
Where are we going to train at? Yeah. We got to train in America. We can't be raiding like German houses and stuff like that. We have to train here. So we train here, and yeah, that stuff happens.
All right. Just another 1-1B. Thanks, family and Brent. That is freaking awesome. Now I got to go do something.
Yes, sir, you do.
Really good.
That's right. You do.
All right. Dwazi with another one. Magnet has a mustard stain, but a different one, LOL.
From a hot dog. From a hot dog. Keep it going.
And another one here. Tavor G96. Next giveaway should be adoption papers for Magnet.
Okay.
Oh, dang.
Who's adopting me?
Yeah.
All right. T-Bone 6613. I know we are a week late, but both you guys have been through some things. What are your thoughts on what the boys on D-Day faced storming Utah and Omaha Beach? Since no one said a song yet, how about Brent sings karaoke to Amos Moses for Old Bo?
Amos Moses. That's a good song, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, that's one of my favevorites.
The guy 50 from
Bo?
the Fallen?
Was that Bo?
No, that's T-Bone.
no.
But the guy that was like, he's from the 50 from the Fallen. You're like, hey, hook. He's the one that got me hooked on Amos Moses. And
Amos Moses is a good song,
Jerry
man. It's
all
Cajun music.
All Jerry Reed.
Yeah, Jerry Reed's good, man.
Now, I'm telling you, when it comes to D-Day, I've done some things. I've seen some things.
That was
I
impressive.
believe myself to be a man. I'm not those boys.
Those dudes were men.
Those boys were men.
Those dudes were men, dude.
I can't even imagine.
Those
I really
dudes
can't.
were men, bro.
And I love as a country that we do a really good job of remembering what those boys sacrificed.
But those
that
dudes
day.
were men.
And we should never forget that.
Yeah,
I love it.
All right. Holy Fook with another one. New podcast called The Taint Bros.
The Taint Bros.
I'm here for it.
All right.
Send it.
Six's mom, please remember the random number for the year supply of FRCC coffee is mine. Happy Kamehameha Day. Outro song Bob Seger Against the Wind as a mahalo to the men. Aloha from Kauai.
All right. All right. All right.
Joe Saunders, yippee-ki-yay. The Taint Club qualified. Isn't there a ribbon for that? LOL.
I'll have to I'm sure that'd be cool. We could make up a cool ribbon for it.
All right. Chase Lee, 3965. Evening, gents. Had a rowdy day at work. 2 pieces of equipment went down. No shits given because it's Thursday night for
That's
the
right.
boys. FRCC for the win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Doesn't matter. Nothing you do. Nothing you do to change it. So just keep rolling.
Indeed. So we got 3 coming in from some Mill Sim Nerd.
Okay.
Difference of Reese between CAG and RRC.
Difference of recce is what that means. And that's the thing. Like RRC is going to be doing more of a strategic recce type thing. So, for example, if there's a mission where Delta Force is going to operate that target, right? Knocked that over. So if there's a mission where Delta Force is going to operate or execute, I should say, that target, they're going to have their recce dudes involved as well. But there may be RC guys outside of that bubble wrecking it from a different vantage point, preparing them for that battle as well, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Next one coming in from the same person. I know Brent's not here, but it says to both, did y'all do Arctic or jungle training?
Yeah, and that's the case. I mean, that was done in both units. I will say his unit as well. We did Arctic and jungle training. In the Ranger Regiment, prior to the GWAT, Arctic and jungle training were like a commonplace. Once we started kicking off the GWAT, guys started focusing more on the desert stuff and not so much the Arctic and jungle. But the Arctic and jungle stuff was part of our training pipelines, like as Brent I'm sure will attest to. There he is.
But the CAG.
Arctic and jungle training.
Okay. I was going to say CAG Recce just supports CAG, for the most part. You guys will kind of get pimped out across everywhere, but we traditionally don't. Do you Arctic or jungle training? I didn't do either.
I did Arctic, no jungle. But I know Rangers did a lot of jungle stuff back in the day, but it wasn't applicable for the GWAT, so we didn't do a whole lot of it.
The SAS in their pipeline, they have a jungle phase when they fly out to like Malaysia or something like that, and they just live in the jungle and do jungle stuff, and I love that.
Yeah, I think it's good.
All right, next one. Do you think RRC is the best at MMF and JSOC?
Military freefall?
Yes,
I'd say yes. And I just have to say that, man. They are you got to think it's the smallest of all the Tier 1 units. They have the same funding, but here's the thing: their job is to infiltrate.
What's going on here?
Their job is to infiltrate into places no one else can. So if anyone gets the funding for the MFF stuff, it's them. They kind of get it before even those guys in certain circumstances.
I agree with that. It lines up with your
mission set.
With your mission set.
Yeah.
You should be.
It's the mission set. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
All right. Joe Saunders, yippee-ki-yay. It says, honest question, no jokes. Would you compare the RRD range recon is different or a descendant of the long-range patrols of Vietnam LRRP, pronounced LRP? Honestly curious.
It's definitely a descendant of it.
Yeah.
They took all of those skills and took those skills and added things to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Another one.
In fact, you mentioned that during the recording.
Yeah,
By
I
the
did.
way. So
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
All right. Another one from Sully is RRC CQB comparable to Delta?
No, absolutely not. Now, dudes can do CQB. They can do individual things and clear themselves and provide a escape route for themselves so that Rangers or Delta Force can come rescue them if needed. But no, there's no capability like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Chase Lee, 3965. 2502 from the 101st holds the standards. Been there, did that. I wish that accountability was the same in civvy life. SMH.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, but guess what? You can control what you can control. So make sure that accountability or standards are there wherever you are.
Okay. Zulu Whiskey. You reminded me when you mentioned the James Bond stuff. I heard that Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible is based off a Delta dude. Any truth?
No, he's based off of I don't think he's based off of anyone, but if it was, it'd have been like an MI5 or MI6 guy.
Yeah, potentially, or like even the stuff we did in RRC, we did a lot of that stuff too. We were trained. So, for example, that's one of the cool things about RRC. We were trained to do everything like James Bond can do, basically. Did we do that in real life? No, but we were trained to do that. You know, and that's the thing. Like what we did in real life was more in the tactical realm, but we were trained to do all that other stuff as well.
Okay. Holy Fook with another one. Mike, did you work with or alongside the British SSR? Or
That's a good
SRR,
question.
excuse me.
I did.
There's
Only
someone in the
one
know.
time-
That's a good question. Sometimes I don't know how they know these things.
You're
to be
right.
honest
That's a
with
good
you.
point.
Yeah.
They like this person is actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did do some brief work with the SRR guys in Afghanistan. They were doing some similar stuff to us, doing the clandestine stuff with the Afghans that we did, and we did some interagency stuff with them. Not a whole lot though. Not a ton.
Okay. Matt Haga, RIP retired police chief Steve Cornett. He was killed 2 weeks ago, hit by a car on the side of the interstate working as a truck driver. Very good family friend, will be missed in our community.
Man, absolutely. Rest in peace, Steve Cornett.
Sorry to hear that.
Okay. Chase Lee, and 2 years of enlisted service to be an O-type.
Do you know what that means? Okay.
All right.
Sometimes they're
Officer.
just comments. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
what's your comment?
Ooh, I got to go back up.
I was thinking blood type.
Yeah, me
Officer
too.
type.
Yeah.
I think officer
And
type
2
is what
years of enlisted service. I do think that
you should be.
I wish our officer corps were all Mustangs. We should recruit
First.
them from enlisted, whether it be a 2 or 4 year. They would do much better getting 4 years as enlisted than 4 years in college.
100%
What are
agree.
we doing here? What are we doing?
100% agree.
All right. Howie Arms 8214. Do you think in
Rick.
30, 40, 50, 60 years, we will go back to Afghanistan or Iraq like World War II vets have been?
I personally believe, I believe the Bible. I don't think we have that much longer.
don't think we have that
I don't
much
think we
time?
have that much time, to be honest.
I wouldn't disagree.
All right. TG Para 2786. You guys have been talking about the withdrawal a lot tonight. Are you going to do a video about it? As an HKIA vet, I would be happy to watch it.
I have to think about how to put that together. It's kind of I'm not against it. I'm not against it, but it just has I might actually. I am pretty upset about it.
I've spoken out about it. You guys can look me up on Fox News and Newsmax. I've spoken out about it back years and years ago. You have to dig. But I've spoken out the truth on what was going on over there. So, yeah, I've spoken out already, I should say.
All right. I believe this is Drew, right? Truth in the Dark podcast.
That's Drew.
Shout out, Drew. He has one. It says Outro Song in America by Charlie Daniels.
It needs to be a simple man. It needs to be Simple Man by Charlie Daniels.
That's what Drew wants. That's what Drew gets.
Yeah, dude, let's do it, Drew. I know you're not here, but hey, let's do it. Simple Man by Charlie Daniels.
All right. Brent Huberty, 7153 asks, did you ever fly with or call in a Huey/Cobra squadron, dealer, or hacksaw in Afghanistan in Helmand Providence in
Helmand Providence,
2010 or 2012?
No,
Is that about me or you?
Yeah, I was in the unit at that time, and we'd had our own air support assets, so I wouldn't have. How about you? What say you?
2012. 2012. I was still in the mix. There's a possibility. There's no telling. I can't say for sure. I mean, I was in RRC at the time, and I was directing, and I was in a lot of gunfights with Delta Force and with the Ranger Regiment. So there's no telling.
All right. Il Gaviano 1563. What were your experiences like with the Air Force Tier 1 guys? What do you make of the Air Force trying to become a unilateral assault/recce element?
Well, there'll never be a unilateral assault/recce element. They're just not created for that. They're a support element, just like to be honest with you, us and RRC, we're a support element. A lot of people don't want to realize that, but that's what reconnaissance is. It's support for the freaking raid, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're support for the assault force. And that's what the 24 STS is. And they're good at it, man. Like, we need those dudes with us to drop bombs.
Yep.
But they're never gonna be a legit recce or assault force. And even their special reconnaissance element, they have dudes, and I've trained those guys, and they're good dudes. But I just can't see them replacing RRC in certain aspects. The stuff that they do is more specific to the realm that they have to deal with. I'm saying this in vague terms because I'm not going to disclose these things on the internet. But the things that they have to thwart, we can thwart those as well.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
All right. One from Frank Tibbet, E1Z. Would you rather spend 1 year in jail guaranteed or leave only when you can solve a Rubik's Cube? Outro 10 years after I'm going home.
I'd rather do a year in jail because it'll probably take me that long to solve the Rubik's Cube at least.
I'll just peel the stickers off and place them where I want them to be.
You got enough time.
I'm a problem
That's
solver.
a good idea.
I'm a problem solver.
I'm an idiot. I should have listened. To Brent.
What
Peel
else
the
we
stickers
got?
off and put them back on.
Well, what do you got?
All right. The real Justin G87, late to the party. Jizro, the super seal, moans when he wipes.
Oh, gosh. Oh, all right.
What do I have to say to that?
Gotta
Nothing
ta-
but
yeah,
laugh.
ta-
I don't know.
yeah, take your word for it.
All right.
All
We
right.
got two more left, both
right.
for Mr. Holy Food.
We did it.
Oh, we got one more. Mike, if you could do anything different in your military service, would you have changed anything?
No, I wouldn't have changed anything because, as Brent will attest, God, our Holy Father up in heaven, he put us on this path for a reason. He put us there to design us to be the people he wanted us to be. So I wouldn't change anything.
Another one, same guy, like I said. It says, Mike, who was your favorite foreign unit to work with? What other foreign units, if any, compared to RRC?
I never worked with any foreign unit. And this is, so take this with a grain of salt. In the Ranger Regiment, we don't work with a lot of foreign units, to be honest. To be honest, we don't. We don't work with a lot of foreign units. I work with the Thai special ops guys, but that's it. And so my perspective is very skewed. To be honest with you, I can't say. I just love Americans,
Yeah, we didn't either. Yeah, that's the thing about Tier 1 units. Because when you're a Tier 1 unit, it's really hard. Other foreign units aren't supposed to see and know exactly how we operate. So we will do most things unilateral or not do things with foreign units.
All right, another one coming in from Drew. It says, I like Simple Man better, but most
Don't
know
sway.
that one.
Don't sway.
And most do not know in America. So that's why I did that.
Simple Man is one of my
Or-
favorite songs, by the
Is
way.
it? Oh,
It is one of my favorite songs,
right.
by the way.
You're getting it.
Or we could do the South. It's going to do it again. LOL, not uniting though. LOL.
Hey, both songs, whoever that guy is, just
That's
so
my
you know,
brother. Yeah.
you're a man after my own heart because both of those songs are both of my favorite songs. I mean, to be honest.
All right. TG Para says, previous HKIA vet, watch for my DM.
Okay. All right.
Another one from Chase Lee. It says, thank you, Bert. You got what I meant about the 2 years enlisted service. I know you're a vet guy, but we all love Mustangs.
In that aspect, I love Mustangs. In that aspect.
All right. Another one from Joe Saunders Yippee-ki-yay. One last question. Is the RRC a volunteer thing or is it like the 18X? From what I learned, a pipeline thing. Meaning, could you walk into a recruiter's office and request RRC? Curious.
No, you can't. It's one of those things that you kind of have to be in another unit already, like the Ranger Regiment or Special Forces or something like that, and then you can request it. It's not something you can request at the recruit, at least as far as I know. It may be that way now. I don't think it is, though.
Okay. Mr. Plate 1775. Mike, who is your favorite branch to work for or work with, and why is it the Marine Corps?
Well, honestly, it was the Army. But I will say number 2 was the Marine Corps. And no joke, man, the MARSOC dudes, like if you want to talk about special operations, man, the MARSOC dudes, and I'm not saying that these dudes were God's gift to special ops. I'm not saying that they have a career. I'm not saying that they did all these amazing things in the GWAT. I'm just simply saying the little experience that I had with them, they were professional, they were disciplined, and they were physically fit. Like I said, they don't have that storied career that we can base that off of. But from what I saw training with them, they were physically fit, they were honest, and they were loyal dudes, man.
They got a bright future.
And
They got a
that's
bright future
Yeah,
there.
that's the core.
As a unit,
That's
yeah.
the core. That's all you need. And after that, you can be successful. And I believe they will be, and they are successful.
All right. Bobby H, 4717. Mike, did you work with SF Jed Burrs? And thoughts on G Squadrons, Black Squadron, and TFO?
No, I never worked with the Jedburghs guys. I do know guys that are there, and I've talked to them, and I know their capabilities as well. And their capabilities are similar to that we had in RRC, actually. But they're different. They just are not as tasked as much, I guess I could say.
They're not. And but I tell you, I did get to work with those guys. They're really talented. The Jedburghs are talented. They're just not tasked, and they're not going to be.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah.
All right. Big Bar 405. Amazing messages in all of your podcasts and lives. Finally catching my first live and appreciate all you do. True heroes.
Nice. Thank you, Big Bar.
Thank you.
All right. So last one we got here is Jay
All right.
Pruneda 12. America's AR markets always nutting over brands like HK, Knights, LMT, but do Tier 1 guys really care about the brand of rifles you carry while you were in? And has it changed since you've got out?
I'll tell you this. Let me answer this first.
sure, yeah.
I'll tell you, a Tier 1 guy could care less what the brand is as long as it operates properly.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
That's the answer.
It needs to work properly, and that's it.
That's the answer.
ahead,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
could give two craps about, and I would know like what rifles were going to get down selected. I trusted the process, and I trusted our guys were going to pick the ones that worked, and I didn't care which one won. As long as the best one won, I didn't. I never cared about the name brand of it.
Yeah.
and that's pretty much carried over to post career. Yeah, my Tier 1 gun hasn't given me a single problem, nor will it. So why? And now that I got to pay for my own guns, why would I spend $5,000 on a gun that runs the same as that one? It
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense.
Well, I spent all this money on a gun that runs like crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now that I have to buy it.
And I've seen problems with big name guns, both in the unit and outside the unit. They didn't make the final selection for a reason, and so there's the gun industry's funny like that.
Yeah, just because it's a big name doesn't mean their stuff is the best in that category specifically. Whether it be a pistol, AR, whatever it is, in that category doesn't mean they're the best.
Unless we're talking about a Glock pistol.
So
unless
if
we're talking about
High
a pistol.
If High Point came up with a good
will
gun,
see
you
that.
like it?
What's that?
I said I will
Point
say that
came-
with you.
Yeah.
If High Point came up with a good gun, you'd like it?
If they came up with a good gun, yeah. If it performed, I don't care what the name is.
They all perform.
I'm telling you,
Only
Glocks perform. Only Glocks perform.
Only Glocks perform. That's
that's
true.
true.
All right, did we make it?
That would be all of them.
All right, this is the time of the night. Simple Man is going to win it to take us home, and we're going to hang out in the regular chat, if you will.
Ain't nothing but a simple man.
All right.
I reckon that I am.
See what we got here. Thank you, Joe, for saying that. I'm the worst at saying. It just sounds so cliche to say like and subscribe, but it does help the channel. Like it does. I should say it more often, but I appreciate you guys doing it for me so I don't have to do it.
I know what you mean. I'll say like and subscribe, even though I'm not a member of this channel. Well, I am now.
You are now.
I am now.
And you're an affiliate. And about the Jeshua, I just got your DM about HKIA. That you commented on the live. I saw it come across my phone, so I'm on it. Hey, let's get to the important questions. Mike, what flip flops are you wearing?
These are rainbows.
Rainbow? Yeah.
People selling dope. I take a big tall tree and a short piece of rope.
Mike, what's your EDC firearm, buddy?
A Glock 19.
And he's correct. Oh gosh. Chandler Crump, you watch your filthy mouth. He said roll tide. He knows I'm a gator.
I would be an Auburn fan but I'm not a sports fan anymore. I'm a fan of the Most High God.
I'm gonna toss you this softball by Devin I4Z or maybe 14Z. Ranger School or Sapper School?
I've never been to Sapper School. I can't say, but Ranger School sucks. I do know that.
He knows that for a fact.
Here we got a late super chat here. It
Sure,
says,
send it.
Good night, everyone. One last question: have either of you had any experience with Canucks handguns? If so, what do you think?
I have not. I've heard they're good though. I've heard they're really good, but I've never shot one. Not even slightly. How about you?
No,
Brent?
yeah, I know of them, but I've never even held one.
Yeah, me either.
I couldn't even tell you. Jared Rosen. That's a good question. Do Rangers make the best CAG operators? At the
I
end
don't
of
know.
the
That's
day,
a good question for you.
it doesn't matter what unit you came from. It's the person over the unit.
Yeah.
We've had great Green Berets in the unit. We've had great Rangers in the unit. We've had bad Green Berets in the unit and bad Rangers in the unit. It's who you are as a man that makes you, not the other way around.
Good point. It is. It's all about the character of the individual.
That's
it's
right.
an individual selection.
Mike, you and Brent are both wrong. Go Tigers. Join the bandwagon. Never. Gooch, a Parmesan. Damn, I'm just now getting off work and tuning in. Better late than never. The good news is you can rewind it and watch it. It'll still be here.
Yep.
Jared Rosen. Ranger, I barely know her. Okay. All right. Bobby H coming in with a late one. Both of you. Thoughts on Ground Branch?
Hey, I'll say that. I actually, that's where I planned to work when I retired.
Yeah.
And it ended up not panning out that way. But those dudes they're good dudes too, man. They're guys just like us, you know.
What'd you say in the recording when I think I was talking about RRD. Now when they're starting to blend, I think it was during the recording, and I think he said, "Well, there's a mystique about a unit. It kind of makes it like bigger,
More illustrious,
Yeah.
I guess. But people want to go to it more.
And I think that's and this isn't me like talking bad about Ground Branch, but I think what happens is there's not a lot of information out there about Ground Branch, so it just kind of gets mystified and
into
turned
this
in
elite unit. It's
Right.
like it's above Delta Force. It's above SEAL Team. No, it's not.
they're
These
really-
are old guys. They're guys like Brent and I. No joke. Like no joke for the guys out there. Like Ground Branches. Guys like Brent and I. Like our age, former operators who did a career in Delta Force or Ranger Regiment who are now working for the agency.
And ironically enough, and we're working for the agency like Green Berets.
Yeah.
Like, their mission set is more
is.
like Green Berets.
It really is.
And with even less assets and resources
less
than the Green
resources.
Berets have
Yeah,
at times.
you're right.
But they're going to pay you good for it to make up.
Oh, you get paid good.
Yeah, they'll pay you.
You get paid good.
All right, guys, that is the show. We got to get out of here. But if you missed it or tuned in late, don't worry. It'll be up here later. Mike, thanks so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Both we'll drop his episode on Monday. But before we close this thing out, let's go around the room. Magnet, what do you got?
All right, guys, if you guys wanted one of those hot dog shirts, they are live on the website now. So you guys go to linearmsusa.com and they are on the website. Finally, you can buy stuff off my website now.
All right. That's a huge one.
Finally.
Cam, you're part of the show. Get in there. You have a last word.
What's up,
What do you
people? I appreciate the patience with my first live here running the show, but it was a blast. I hope you guys had a blast. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and keep
he'll
tuning
do it
in.
for me. All right.
Keep tuning in.
We had 0 technical errors. You know that. We didn't ask you to do a whole lot back there, but at the end of the day, you performed. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Mike, what do you got?
Man, it was good, man. Thanks for having me. I had a blast. It was good hanging out with you guys, and I look forward to hanging out with you guys more in the future.
Man, you are welcome back anytime. Anytime you are welcome back. And something tells me we'll be seeing each other again for something, for one thing or another.
Yeah, dude.
Guys, we have another live right behind this next Thursday night. I think we have another one right behind that next Thursday night as well. So stick around, keep the live growing. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this community and being who you guys are. You guys keep it professional in there. You guys keep it funny. You keep it entertaining. You have no idea how grateful I am for you guys and your support. You guys make it easy to do this. See you next Thursday.